In fact, that debris signature is actually a little bit broader than it was, which tells us the debris fields are going to get a little bit bigger out there right here on top of Gore. We probably have likely a tornado in progress at this moment. Roads include this one, Woodward Circle right there, Old River Road, Oklahoma 160, US 64, Old Bridge Road right there in north of Webbers Falls, coming into the Gore community. That's where we have likely a tornado in progress right now. Doppler radar indicated rotation. We were soon going to see some reports coming out of that. That's going to be tracking over towards Redbird Smith. If you're in that community there, evening shade, Vian, you need to be seeking shelter immediately right now. Vian is included in this tornado warning based off of the trajectory of this. It's almost moving east to southeast, or is it just a bit of east? Or more northeast, I should say. I'm sorry to get my directions backwards. East-northeast, is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think they had it moving east-northeast, moving east-northeast around 65 miles an hour.
Okay, tornado ongoing right now in Gore, Oklahoma. That's coming towards Vian, Pinhook, Corner, Redbird Smith, evening shade as well. Okay, this one was 65.
Correct.
Let's put another path on that specific cell. I'm going to do it from the actual debris signature itself, and so that can give us an idea of who's going to be included in this. Brand new tornado warning, Sequoyah County, tornado likely on the ground right now. Observed tornado is in progress, moving through Sequoyah County. That puts it at Redbird Smith at 6:35. Evening shade, you've got 10 minutes at 6:40. Petite Chapel, 6:44. Marble City, 6:45. Flute Springs, 6:46. Bunch at 6:50. Greasy at 6:52. Estimated times of arrival for when this likely supercell that is producing a tornado right now will be moving your direction. When you look at it on rain mode, it's going to be very rain wrapped. That debris signature is right here. You're not going to be able to see through that precipitation. It's very heavy, intense, high precipitation. It's going to be very tough to see there, but it is an observed tornado. Based off of Doppler radar, we can see the debris finding things in the atmosphere that's not supposed to be there. Essentially what this product is, and I know that it can be a little bit wild to see. What are all these colors and these pixels? What does it actually mean? What we've told the radar to do is it says, we know that you're supposed to see raindrops and we know that you're supposed to see hail in your beam. But when you see things up there that are different shapes, that are different sizes, that shouldn't be there, let us know. And what it's doing here in green is it's telling us there are things that have been lofted into the atmosphere at the exact area where there's rotation, intense, strong rotation. And those things are only there because we have a tornado in progress right now in Gore, Oklahoma, crossing Oklahoma 160. It is going to be traveling towards the north of Highway 64 over towards Moonshine Road, River Road, South 4476 Road, south of Evening Shade. Let's bump this down just a bit. That's going to soon pass towards Redbird Smith as well. Those communities, if you live anywhere near those in Sequoyah County, we're north of Webbers Falls, we're north of Interstate 40 at this point, not by much, but by a little bit. This is soon going to be tracking towards Redbird Smith outside of the Gore community, and it is not showing any signs of weakening right now. That rotation not only continues, but so does the debris signature, and that is some actually very intense rotation. Those blues and those reds coming together right on top of Oklahoma 160, approaching Redbird Smith right now. As fast as this cell is moving, Redbird Smith, you've got a tornado on top of you right now, more than likely. With that said, it is going to be closing in on Evening Shade very soon. This is out of the Fort Smith radar. It's giving us a very excellent picture as to what's happening with this specific cell, closing in on Evening Shade right if you're between Vian and Evening Shade. If you live anywhere along 82, the tornado's on the ground right now. Now's the time. Put the shoes on. Let's get the kids to the hallway or wherever your safe place is. You're going to want to put as many walls between you and the exterior of your home as possible with this cell. Doppler radar indicating that rotation is likely increasing. It's turning purple, likely because we see it's a confirmed tornado at this point as considered by the National Weather Service. We go back to debris tracker. Looks like I'm not seeing as pronounced as a debris signature with the latest scan. It's possible this thing just lifted. Y'all, what do you see over there?
Yeah, the last scan, it's looking like maybe that debris signature is a little bit broadened. Maybe it's lifted temporarily, but sometimes it's hard to see with so much rainfall too. So definitely what Redbird Smith, get to that safe place now. Something also looking, radar looks like maybe there's another little signature to the north of that trying to tighten up as well. But right now this is the more dominant circulation, but that CC is not as apparent as it was just a couple minutes ago.
Okay, thank you. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning for the rest of Sequoyah County and the northern 3/4 of LeFlore County. That pulsing up on your screen in advance of a severe thunderstorm that not only is producing a tornado near Wilburton, and Hartshot, that is going to be tracking closer and closer to Stigler over the next couple of minutes, also included into that warning. A lot going on your screen right there. We'll take some of that data off. We go back area wide. This line of thunderstorms, this complex of thunderstorms, not only is it producing damaging straight line winds up and down the entire segment of lines, you're also finding embedded areas of rotation that's spinning up rather quickly. This specific cell, also a confirmed tornado warning now to the east of McAllister near Wilburton. That one's tracking closer and closer to LeFlore and Sequoyah counties there as well. Not currently included in the tornado warning. I'm afraid with time, unless that thing weakens, you likely will find yourselves under one at some point. Right now, our tornado warning includes Sequoyah County. The last time I looked at the debris signature, it was looking as if there was no longer any debris being lofted in the air, unless that is passed off towards the east. Where's that rotation at? Okay, no, I don't think it's made it to evening shade yet. Rotation's just to the west of evening shade, not by much. We're probably only looking from the rotation into the evening shade area, probably let's say between 7 and 10 miles, just to be safe. That's where that rotation is. Bright reds coming together, bright blues right there. That's where the atmosphere is rapidly spinning. That's where we just had a tornado in Gore, Oklahoma. Radar indicated debris being lofted into the atmosphere to the north of Weber's Falls in Gore, Oklahoma. This is tracking just to the north of Interstate 40, just to the north of US 64. It does take that closer and closer to Brushy and Greasy. Cherry Tree there in Adair County, not included in the warning, but portions of western Adair County certainly are included in this tornado warning set to expire. Was this one at 7 o'clock, I believe? That threat likely continuing, ongoing right now. Whether or not there's a tornado on the ground right now, that's one thing. I think there is likely going to be some significant rotation happening right now. Whether or not it's actually making contact with the ground at the moment, it may be bouncing up and bouncing down. That's a real possibility. Sometimes that happens. We go back to our debris tracker. We're getting scans coming in every couple of seconds. Not really seeing much right there with regards to that. There is a little interesting signature there near Flute Springs. I'm not quite sure what that actually is. It's east of evening shade. If one of y'all want to look at that, some of those other offhand products, it doesn't co-locate with any of the rotation. That's why I'm not confident that it's really anything to be concerned with. I think our rotation, though, continues to push closer and closer to the north of Vian. Minimally, you've got some damaging straight line winds coming out of that cell that are really at this point rotating more than likely as well.
Yeah, on the last scan, it looks like maybe it's starting to tighten up just a little bit. The normalized rotation is starting to come back up into some higher values here compared to the last couple scans, so may need to watch that. The signature that you're talking about, I think that was just maybe some bad data, but right now no debris so far with this pulse back up.
Okay, Joshua, thank you. Weber's Falls, you're technically included in this warning, but the storm that has produced the tornado moved through Gore. It looks like it's towards your east and northeast right now. So what we'll end up seeing is this purple box, which indicates to us a radar-confirmed tornado. It'll be trimmed up as the cell continues pushing off towards the east-northeast. Brushy, far too close for comfort. Greasy, too close for comfort. Evening shade, we're talking Sequoyah County, north of Interstate 40, north of US 64. We go back to our debris tracker. Was that thing tightening up? I'm not seeing any debris right now located with where the rotation is. That very well could be changing. Look at that surge of wind coming out of that as well. Big surge of wind pushing out of the leading edge of that thunderstorm. In fact, when we sample some of these, we're probably looking at 60 to 70 mile per hour wind. 60 right there coming into the Vian community, coming into evening shade. And that's going to be in addition to the potential of those winds are spinning, right? You can also see some back towards Weber's Falls, which is included in a severe thunderstorm warning. You got about 50 or so mile per hour winds, 50 to 60 with that. And that's on top of the impending rotation, which I'll tell you, based off of that last scan just now coming in, there's a little kink in that line right there with where those winds are, as high as they are. Yes, I believe there's some rotation. It's not as tightly wound up as I would expect it to be, which I would hope continues to be the case, transitioning more to a damaging wind potential, not finding any debris right there at the moment. We've got to keep going back and forth, making sure that nothing is trying to spin up and touch the ground right there. Circulation was spotted by a spotter back near Coffee Road and I-40. That, of course, would have been a little bit further back as it was approaching the Gore community right there. Looking as that wind pushes into evening shade, you're probably going to have some straight line wind damage minimally with that. The leading edge of it right here, if there is any rotation, it's going to be now closing in on evening shade. Vian, the winds are going to be very high. Rain is going to be intense. I know that's happening for you right now, but that actually isn't producing a tornado in Vian. That would be just to the north side of town for some context there. Let's go back area wide. We've got a lot going on out
Hey,
there.
Scott.
Yes.
Sorry to interject, but
Please.
there's a warning just in Delaware County, but
Okay.
now moving into Northwest Bend County that could have up to 80-mile-per-hour winds. Just want to flag you on that.
Okay, thank you. Danny Cassidy's first day here at Channel 5. Picked a great day to start, and we're happy to have you here. 80-mile-per-hour straight line winds coming into western Benton County. This is that cell we gave you a first alert to several minutes ago, about a half hour ago. That was coming out of the Tulsa area. Damaging straight line winds right here. We can look into the wind velocities and get an idea of what it looks like on radar, and it is exactly right near the J community. We're probably got 70 mile per hour winds, potentially reaching even greater when it makes it to the ground. And that's going to include Sulphur Springs. It's going to include Gravette and Decatur. Folks that I just know you're sick of me calling out your town name, and I get it. Don't take it personal either. If I were you, I'd feel the same way. We go in a little bit closer. This is what we're looking at. Gravette right here, Sulphur Springs right here, a wall of wind up to 80 miles per hour coming out of the J community, coming out of Bull Hollow. That's damaging straight line winds moving towards Decatur, Gravette, Sulphur Springs right there in northwestern Benton County. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning issued for that. Danny, was that any special type of severe thunderstorm warning?
No specific
Just a
tag
base-
on it, but yeah, moving pretty fast the northeast at 65.
Okay, stay here. There's a lot going on. Let's make some sense of this. Severe thunderstorm warning for Delaware and northwestern Benton County. We have the tornado warning as we've seen a confirmed tornado near Gore, Oklahoma, north of Weber's Falls. That continues to push into the evening shade community. Rotation not as strong as it once was. Very intense winds. Slice it or dice it however you want, whether straight line winds or circulation. We probably have some wind related damage right there. East of McAllister closing in on LaFleur County. Doppler radar indicates very strong rotation, tornado in progress east of McAllister. That all tracking our direction as well. Meanwhile, we also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for LaFleur, Sequoia, Adair, all the way up through Delaware County, almost the entirety of our viewing area there in East Oklahoma for the potential of winds and hail. That's in addition to at times where we start to see those spin-ups likely developing there as well. New tornado warning coming in for LaFleur County. That's the one I've been telling you about. That's the one I've been real nervous about. Just now flashing on your screen. This is going to include Tallahena, I believe. This is going to include portions of Podo, just to the west of Podo. It's only a small sliver of LaFleur County, but we're probably going to end up seeing more out of there as well. Here's Keota, here's Stigler, just off to our west. You are now under a brand new tornado warning for a storm that has a very long history of producing damage on the ground tornadoes over the last couple of hours. That cell closing in on you folks, getting closer and closer. In addition to that, you can also see here Weather Service indicating on top of the potential for a rotation, you've also got 2-inch in diameter hail. Not a good day. Not a good day to be under that severe thunderstorm right there. Very powerful supercell moving into the area. Tornado warning being updated for our friends here in Sequoia County. The latest trends, portions of the area out of it as expected. But when we go in a little bit closer here, that continues to include evening shade, brushy, greasy. We go back to Doppler radar indicated rotation. When we look at that, rotation's tightening back up. It's very clear to see those reds and those blues are starting to spin right there on top of evening shade here to the west of Flute Springs, northwest of Marble City. Hear my voice, take shelter right now. If you're in evening shade, Flute Springs, Marble City, north of Pinhook Corner, this is where your rotation is. Going back to the debris tracker, do we have any actual debris? Ooh, we might. I'd love a second set of eyes here on CC, west of Marble City, north of Pinhook Corner. That could be a debris signature right here, west of Flute Springs, west of Marble City, south of Evening Shade. What do y'all think?
There was a tiny speck on there just a minute ago from our PTDS tool. It's kind of hard to say. It's hit or miss. The last scan, it's gone, but there was maybe another brief touchdown, at least based off of this. The best view was from the Tulsa radar, looking to see what the Fort Smith radar was saying. There's a little spot on the last scan, maybe a brief touchdown, but it's hard to say.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think that is a real possibility that we might have a little bit of additional debris here north of Pinhook Corner, south of Evening Shade, west of Flute Springs. Radar certainly indicates that rotation is really intense. It's not as tight as you would expect, but it's really intense. You can just look at those winds alone. Those blues correlating with probably 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. You get those winds rotating at that velocity, at that speed, that's some strong rotation. It's maybe not as organized as it needs to be for a tornado to be in progress, but it is definitely some intense rotation that very well could drop a tornado, if not right now, at any time. We'll zoom back out on this one. We're going to go back into our southern LaFleur County cell, or western LaFleur County cell. Also included in a new tornado warning. This one is for a long track supercell that does have a history of producing tornadoes. It does include Fanshawe right here, western LaFleur County, west of Worcester. You are included in this new tornado warning. Doppler radar indicated rotation now coming up close to Wilburton and Red Oak. In fact, you're probably going to see some debris likely tracking out of that one there as well. This has been a confirmed tornado. In fact, that rotation may now be over Red Oak based off of the debris that's indicated right there. That is going to be coming into the Fanshawe community, just to the north side of town right there. Panama is not currently included in this new tornado warning, but if you hear my voice in Panama, I need you to just go ahead and get those shoes on. Let's go ahead and just get ready. This is going to be tracking closer and closer to you, perhaps Spyro as well. Poto, not entirely out of the question, but we've got to watch that track really closely. A little bit too early to tell exactly what town that's going to be trying to go to, but it certainly is going to impact portions of LaFleur County, maybe eventually down the line into Sequoyah County. Not a lot going on elsewhere in the River Valley, although this is certainly a situation that is going to be impacting everybody. Showers and thunderstorms near Waldron, those are not severe right now. You've got some showers and thunderstorms in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Rogers, Northern Crawford, Northern Franklin, those not severe. Potentially 80 mile per hour straight line winds coming into northwestern Benton County. While that isn't rotating, it can cause some damage in of itself from Gentry through Decatur as well as Gravette. Right there is going to be your big push of winds. It's coming in on the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line right now. Doppler radar indicates those winds to be right around 60 miles per hour east of Jay. You've also got 50 to 60 likely coming out of it in Colcord. Jay measured a lot of 60 mile per hour samples. Those winds coming right into the Gravette, Decatur, Gentry community. We're talking straight line winds just like what we had yesterday. We'll watch that for any additional rotation. I'm not seeing that at the moment though. That's the good news for us. Let's go back area-wide, get an idea of the overall picture that we're looking at here. You're going to see that we've got one large complex of thunderstorms that are now moving into the area, but there's going to be more develop off towards the west. Some of those now impacting portions of central Oklahoma. That's the dry line pushing storms our direction. We'll have to watch that very closely. The new update on this new tornado warning, I think they're probably just trimming. I don't think it's new. I think it's
They are trimming it, but there is a pretty good debris signature if you go to the CC.
Oh, I see that hook coming back up together. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that is a debris signature. That thing pulsed back up really quickly west of Greasy. I went too tight right there. It's going to be south of 10 Killer. Let's back this up. Large debris signature right here, west of Greasy, southeast of Petite. Let me go in right on top of that thing right there. Right here's debris. This is where a tornado is in progress, just to the west of Bunch, just to the north of Flute Springs. Tornado in progress right now on the ground, causing damage. Our radar is able to see the debris being lofted into the atmosphere. If you're in Bunch, if you're in Lyons, you need to be in your safe place right now. This tornado has a history of producing a lot of damage all the way from Gore now through portions of Adair County. Rotation is continuously increasing. We'll go back to our velocity tracker. What are those winds doing right now? Ooh, that is one of the most pronounced areas of rotation I've seen all day. Okay. Which stations? Northwestern River Valley. Okay. Folks, right now, if you're in the path of this storm, I want you to know that not only can you find our coverage on your mobile app, you turn the volume up. I don't want you staying in front of the TV for this. Turn the volume up, or if you got a radio, any of our iHeart partners are simulcasting our coverage right now. KMAC 99.1, B98, Big Dog 95.9, News Talk. That's where to find us right now. If you're in the path of this storm, don't stay in front of the TV. I need you to just turn the volume up, turn us in on the radio, find us on the mobile app. We're going to get you through it. That's my commitment to you tonight. This is one of the most concerning areas of rotation that I've seen today. Right now, tornado in progress, debris being noted on live Doppler radar consistently with this specific cell right here. That rotation signature not only continues to concern me, the debris field is now expanding. This tornado is picking up more things, trees, limbs, God forbid, shingles and buildings material, things of that nature. Right now, north of Flute Springs, that's moving towards Cherry Tree. You're not in a warning, but I'm going to give you a reason that you need to go ahead and treat it as if you were. Stillwell, you have a tornado tracking your direction. You're not in that warning yet. You need to go ahead and get ready to be under one and be ready to take those tornado safety precautions. Now a confirmed tornado on the ground just to the west of Greasy. This specific cell is producing damage as we speak. This is no longer radar indicated. This is the real thing, folks. This is a confirmed tornado, very intense rotation, spinning up on the leading edge of this cell between Petite, Evening Shade, Greasy. Just past out of Evening Shade, winds remain rather intense in Evening Shade, but the rotation itself has now passed off to your north and east. Here's the community of Bunch. Here's the community of Dry Creek. Cookson, right here, east of Highway 100. You are right now in a tornado in the Bunch community. Dry Creek. Listen to my voice, put as many walls between you and the exterior of your home as possible. If you have a basement, if you have a storm cellar, I hope you're there right now. If you're in Lyons, if you're in Stillwell, you need to go ahead and take this very seriously as if the tornado warning includes you. It soon is likely going to. You can see that hook echo right there. Very impressive inflow. Very concerning signature there that tornado not only continues to be in progress, but I don't see it lifting necessarily anytime soon. If perhaps it does lift, as if it kind of just did a second ago, it likely is only recycling, and that means it's probably going to drop again. Debris signature continues. Right now, radar continues to indicate debris on the ground just to the west of Greasy. We're talking north of Salisaw, likely a tornado on the ground right there at this moment, causing debris to be lofted into the atmosphere. We look at the radar signature on rain mode, very pronounced hook echo right there. New information coming in. It's going to be really tough to see where this tornado is simply based off of all the rain that's following right there. If you're in Stillwell, there's no reason to try to look out. Rocky Mountain, Dry Creek, Cherry Tree, Zion, new tornado warning now just issued for that one. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's get an idea of who exactly is included in this new specific tornado warning. Looks like it's going to run all the way to the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line. That's going to include a good chunk of Adair County, as well as more than likely, we're running it all the way up towards the Delaware County line right there. Area of concern now is going to be moving closer and closer to Stillwell. You are included in a new tornado warning in which tornado is on the ground right now. Danger is imminent. This is now a life-threatening situation in which you need to act accordingly. You know what that means. That means putting as many walls between you and the exterior of your home as possible. It wouldn't hurt to cover up your head. If you got a school, like a baseball helmet, a sports helmet of some sort, those things are really helpful to do as well. If the kids have any of those, not a bad idea to go ahead and utilize those. Otherwise, a sturdy book, anything sturdy that you can put over your head is a good idea right now. In the Lyons community, debris tracker coming up. It's approaching Oklahoma Highway 100, south of Rocky Mountain, west of Highway 59, right there on Zion and Cherry Tree. That tornado is right now in progress in the Bunch, Oklahoma community. We're going to come back to that one in just a second. We've got another one for southern LaFleur that we need to attend to as well. This one is going to be closing in on Fanshawe here very, very soon. That cell is very electric, which tells us it is a very healthy thunderstorm. It has a history of producing tornadoes, a recent history. Radar indicated rotation coming in closer and closer to the area. A little bit messier of a signature. Rotation is very broad, but intense, just to the west of Red Oak there. Southwest of McCurtain, south of Stigler, that tracking towards the north and east, which does include portions of LaFleur County in our new tornado warning right there. We'll come back to that one. Danny and Joshua, make sure I'm not going to miss anything on that one. New tornado warning, new one coming in for Washington County. Folks, this one's going to move into Washington County, this specific cell right here. In fact, there are three different tornado warning polygons. Now this new warning includes western Washington County, just now coming into the area. This is going to include Lincoln, I believe. This is going to include Hawkeye, Morrow. It does not include Prairie Grove, comes really close to it. That's going to be for the tornado likely coming out of the Stillwell community if it continues its current track. It also includes Peavine, Westville, Morrow, a little bit closer in here. Does that include Lincoln? I can't tell. I think it probably does. If not, it's really close. Yeah, it's right on the line. It's right on the line. Here's Cane Hill. Here's Morrow. Tornado warning, Doppler radar indicated, and rotation, debris indicated, tornado on the ground. It's a very serious situation now, moving through portions of Adair County, closing in on western Washington County. Here's the debris right there. We'll leave it right there for you. That's tracking up towards Stillwell right now, and that's eventually going to cross over in the Morrow community there in western Washington County. That's a very concerning cell that we're going to unfortunately continue to track over the next several minutes. Radar indicates that rotation continues to produce a tornado at this moment. We go back to the rotation. It was one of the most concerning signals I've seen today. And right now, it looks to be very concerning as well. While it's not as organized as it once was, those winds are very intense. Now to the north of Greasy, coming into the Stillwell community, Adair County, the entire county, for the most part, now under a tornado warning. That is a behemoth of a storm. Looks like there might actually be multiple areas of rotation along that cell right there. That cell, not only producing a tornado, could be some secondary areas of rotation now just to the south of Petite, south of Petaliqua, east of Petite there as well. Looks like we're going to be going live on our iHeart stations in Northwest Arkansas there as well for this additional new tornado warning. Thank you for that information. This line continues to come closer and closer to the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line. This is a volatile environment ahead of this line. The entire thing is severe, okay? Whether it's the wind potential, the hail potential, or at times we're getting some very strong rotation. That new warning for the severe thunderstorm now runs all the way from Benton County, Washington, Crawford, Sebastian, portions of southern LaFleur. New severe thunderstorm warning popping up on your screen. This is going to be the trend. This is going to continue happening all the way off towards the east until we're done with this main line. I'm afraid to tell you, once we're done with this main line, we're going to have to look and see what happens back here along our dry line. There very well could be some additional thunderstorms developing there that also track into our area overnight tonight. One of the things that I'm hopeful for is that these thunderstorms work over the environment to such a degree that any potential fuel is just eliminated for those later storms. That's a possibility. We'll just have to see how it goes. Unfortunately, we're just in that phase where we just have to wait and see what's going to happen. New tornado warning does include western Washington County, does not include Fayetteville, does not include Prairie Grove. It does include Lincoln and Westville and Morrow. We have a confirmed tornado on the ground approaching Stillwell, Oklahoma right now. Radar continues to show that area of rotation is right here, north of Greasy. It is tracking towards Stillwell, eventually into the Morrow community. That is going to be crossing the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line. Looks like there's probably a secondary area of rotation near 10 Killer beginning to develop there as well. I'm just reading some information for you. I've not been able to see this myself, but I think it's important that I pass along this to you. This is from one of the best scientists in the country over at the Tulsa National Weather Service. Most favorable environment for tornadoes continues to be southeast Oklahoma into northwest Arkansas. Ahead of the ongoing storms, these conditions extend east through the extent of their coverage area.
Yeah. And to add on to that, Scott, the tornado watch has now been expanded for the entire 5 News viewing area until 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. Okay,
thank you. Danny Cassidy, meteorologist Danny Cassidy, letting us know, as expected, that new tornado watch in effect until 2 a.m. tomorrow morning for the entire 5 News viewing area. Obviously, conditions are unfortunately ripe right now for these tornadoes to spin up. I continue to see debris right here in the Lyons community. It's closing in on Zion and Stillwell, Oklahoma. If you're in Stillwell, if you're in Lyons, you have a tornado right now on top of Lyons. Here's where it is. This is the radar saying there are debris signatures up here. There are things that are not supposed to be in the sky. And that tells us, when we can co-locate it exactly where the rotation is, that the tornado is in progress right now. This is no longer one of those hypothetical Doppler radar indicated concerns. This is a real tornado happening, closing in on Cherry Tree right there along Highway 59 as well. When we look at some storm chaser reports, let's see, I've not found any there yet. Those may very well be coming in with time. We go back into our rotation tracker and you notice a pretty strong signal right there. Not only is this just an algorithm, a computer kind of analyzing things, what's going on in the sky, is it spinning? It certainly confirms that, but more telling than anything else is the debris tracker. Everything is hypothetical up until the point you're starting to see some debris, and right now the debris tracker is telling us there is in fact a tornado on the ground. That's really all it is going to come down to, and that's all that matters in this moment. If you're in Lyons, if you're in Cherry Tree or Stillwell, Oklahoma, This is a life-threatening situation, and I think this is the time. If you haven't already, go ahead and take your tornado safety precautions. We are in a serious situation here that is only going to continue for the next several hours, I'm afraid. So current time is right at 6:58. New tornado watch runs until 2 a.m. this morning. When you look at live radar, you can see there's a lot going on. These thunderstorms are very intense. There is multiple areas of rotation up and down this line. Even though not everyone's included in a tornado warning, everyone has the potential to be included in one over the next couple of hours. It's slowly but surely progressing off towards the east. These thunderstorms are very healthy. Our atmosphere was not worked over today like I'd hoped it was going to be. That was one of the potential, I call them bust modes that could have happened. I woke up this morning thinking, if we've got rain, if we've got storms, maybe that will mitigate the threat. That did not happen. The atmosphere is primed, it is ripe, very favorable for the development of tornadoes. Those tornadoes are happening right now, especially near Stillwell, especially near Fanshawe, near McCurtain, right there. That storm closing in on western Leflore County as well. That one, though, is not looking as concerning as it at least once was in terms of actual rotation. It's still there, so this is going to be McCurtain, Oklahoma right here. Here's Keota, here's Stigler. Rotation now closing in on McCurtain. That will take it eventually towards Cowington in Panama. Right now, Fanshawe is going to be the only town in that actual tornado warning there in Leflore County. Looks like maybe some of that's going to come closer up towards Cowington. There's an additional tornado warning. Okay, that just fell off. Okay, thank goodness. That one fell off, but that rotation right there south of Stigler continues to be of grave concern for us. No tornado on the ground with that one, at least as of right now, although it has a long history of producing tornadoes well back towards the Red River Valley, and that thankfully has at least lifted as of right now. Our tornado continues in progress right now, coming up into the Stillwell community here in Adair County. We go back into our debris signature. Maybe, just maybe, it's not as pronounced as it once was. I would be open to some input there, Danny or Joshua.
Yeah, just looking at the radar signature there, not seeing that pronounced debris ball that we were seeing just a little bit ago. So that's some good news. Looks like they're starting to trim that warning as well. Definitely still seeing that rotation. I would be, cautious to say that it's weakening. When you don't see that debris signature, I think many people will think that it's over. This could be recycling. It could be about to make its way back to the ground, just because it's still maintaining its strength. And I'm a little bit concerned that maybe give it a couple more scans, we may see this come back, just because it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon.
Okay, thank you so much, Joshua. I think you're right. While I'm not seeing a debris signature, I'll tell you that rotation signature coming into Stillwell right now is actually a really strong, tight area of rotation. Now on the west side of Stillwell. At this point, it's probably really on top of Stillwell, right along 59, moving towards Fairfield. This cell has a history, a very recent history of producing at least two tornadoes, one near Gore, one to the north of Evening Shade. Right now, we're down to radar indicated. Weather Service agreeing with us there that debris signature no longer showing up. That's good news for the time being. One of the things I learned early on is you never trust a storm in May. I don't trust that storm. I want folks in western Washington County to continue to be very aware that that storm has some very intense rotation in Stillwell, and it is tracking toward tomorrow. It is tracking towards Lincoln. I want folks in Lincoln in their safe spots, and I want you right there right now. That cell, it means business. Let's do this. Let's put a new track on that one going into the Lincoln community. How fast was this one moving? This one going into western Washington?
So that one was moving northeast at 60.
Okay, that one's moving quick.
And then the neighboring tornado warning, that was moving northeast at around 50.
Okay. Give additional folks a heads up that aren't included in the warning. Marietta School, 706, Fairfield at 707, Calvary Church, 710, Wrights Chapel, 716, Dutch Mills, 718, Clyde, 725, Lincoln, 726, Lincoln Middle School there, of course, 727, Prairie Grove at 736. Estimated times of arrival based off of that. Two tornado warnings here, two different areas of spin within this cell. The southern one is the one that produced the tornado. This one to the west-southwest of Peavine has not produced one yet, but could at any moment. So there's two areas of concern. There's going to be this rotation right here, and there's going to be this one right here, that's right now in Stillwell. Both of these tracking up towards the north and east, both of these will move into western Washington County. Looks like we very well could see another debris signature developing right now. And we kind of knew that was a real possibility. These tornadoes can spin, they can drop, they can lift, and it does look like we have a tornado on the ground right now in Stillwell, Oklahoma. Debris signature located right here. This is going to be where the debris is, just to the west of Highway 59, right in this general vicinity. Let's go closer. I need to be able to tell you where this tornado is right now. We're probably going to have some city streets popping up here really soon. That debris signature now right on top of 59, moving towards Fairfield. That debris continues to be lofted up into the atmosphere right here. This is going to be our area of concern where these green pixels are. Here's Oklahoma 51. Here's the intersection with Oklahoma 59. Fairfield, that tornado is moving into your neck of the woods as we speak. Now is the time to seek shelter. Well, 10 minutes ago is the time to seek shelter, but if you haven't yet, it's a real thing. It is back on the ground, and it continues to push towards Fairfield right now, north of Stillwell. Tornado on the ground. It's moving very fast. We have about a 65-mile-per-hour forward trajectory with this cell, and that is going to take it into Dutch Mills next in line. Beyond that, Dutch Mills crossing over into western Washington County right there along 59, Highway 59. That is where we likely have a tornado tracking right now coming out of Adair County. That's going to be two different distinct tornado warnings. The northern one hasn't actually produced yet, at least as of what it looks like, but that doesn't mean that it might not at any moment. It's going to be this one coming out of Stillwell that has the most pronounced rotation, that actually has rotation developing an imminent tornado on the ground right now. Okay, goodness gracious. It would be rain wrapped. You're not going to be able to see anything. I don't expect any reports. I don't expect any storm chaser reports to be able to see this, just given the intense rain that's falling exactly where that rotation is. Cherry Tree, Morrow, Stillwell, Westville included in this warning. That also is going to include the town of Lincoln. If you're in Lincoln, we've got a tornado on the ground. If it doesn't lift, it will come very, very close to Lincoln. And that's for the reason I send my plea to you to go ahead and take shelter right now. This severe thunderstorm warning moving into western Leflore County, long history of having a tornado on the ground. It will also move into Sequoyah County. Right now, the worst of it is moving likely near Stigler and McCurtain. Very intense wind and rain and hail likely moving through Fanshawe right now. Rotation, not as pronounced as it was. Looks like there's probably two areas right there splitting the town of McCurtain right on each side. This one moves up towards Keota, moving into Callington, eventually over into Brent in southern Sequoyah County. That one needs to be watched very closely. It too under a tornado warning.
And just real quick for that one too, also want to mention radar is estimating up to potentially baseball-sized hail with that core just to the west of Worcester and Poto. So the warning doesn't necessarily mention it, but that is a nasty hail core making its way closer and closer to the community of Fanshawe, Worcester, and Poto.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. We do have large hail right now falling in Fanshawe that is going to be moving towards Worcester. Right now, Doppler radar indicates to us that that very well could be some very intense hail near Fanshawe and Leflore, Summerfield, Braidwood, moving towards Worcester, potentially those large as tennis ball size hail right now crossing into Fanshawe along Highway 270. That'll move over towards Worcester here in the next few minutes. If you're in Worcester, a large hailstorm is tracking your direction. Confirmed tornado. Now we've got that confirmed once more. It kind of continues to bounce back and forth with this specific cell, but it's dropping tornadoes. It briefly lifts, and then we get tornadoes on the ground once more. And that's going to be to the north of Stillwell. Rotation's tightening back up. That rotation is dropping a tornado right here, moving just to the east of England, right near Peavine, right near Fairfield. Doppler radar indicates that continues to be ongoing as of right now. We're not going to get any storm chaser reports out of that. It's rain wrapped and with a lot of very intense rain. So it's going to be Doppler radar, the only tool that we're really going to be able to utilize for us this evening. Here's the rotation and here's where the debris is. Those greens and yellows, that's what we call a correlation coefficient fallout. That means there is debris happening in the atmosphere that's not supposed to be there in the Fairfield community. It did track through portions of Stillwell. It's now to the north of Stillwell. If you're in Stillwell, stay put. You've got some high winds and an intense thunderstorm. If there's any limbs or trees that haven't fallen yet, the wind that's moving through right now very well could result into that. Brand new radar scan just now coming in. I still think there's debris. It's not as large of a signature as it once was. We're talking only a couple of pixels. So perhaps, we'll wait. We'll wait for the next scan to come in. Perhaps it's possible that maybe that has lifted or soon is going to be trying to lift once more. Confirmed tornado, Adair County, moving into western Washington County. It's one to take very seriously. This tornado has produced multiple areas of damage. In fact, it actually did produce a tornado back near Weber's Falls, near Gore. Earlier, dropped another one, and that's going to be a concern for us likely over the next several minutes. If you're watching us in Adair County in western Washington, now's the time to be in your tornado safe locations. If you're in other parts of Washington, you also and maybe need to be mindful of this cell. I don't think it's necessarily going to weaken anytime soon. If it does, it's probably just cycling. And as it cycles, it probably is going to continue to pose a very serious tornado potential. Our tornado warning for western LaFleur has expired. That rotation has finally weakened. Our only tornado warning right now remains in effect for southeastern and eastern Adair, western Washington County. Tornado on the ground right now. Strong high winds coming into the river valley. Let's do this. I'm going to, we have a lot of cameras. I want to look at the POTO camera. Y'all can do that or I can do that. Okay, this is going to be looking from the Eastern Oklahoma Medical Center in Poto, pointed off towards the west. Very dark skies, strong thunderstorm, severe thunderstorm moving into the area. Let's also do this. I'd like to also look at the Holiday Inn camera in Springdale. I see a shelf cloud. I'd like to point that out. This is looking off towards the west. That's the Sam's Club right there. That's going to be looking towards the west along 412, back towards Tawnytown. Shelf cloud coming into the area. Probably do have some damaging straight line winds coming out of that cell as well. Very well could see some rotation coming in. Let's watch that very closely. That's tracking towards the east, closer to downtown Springdale. Let's take a look at, I think actually that'll do it for me for now. Thank you. Jack Links there in Bentonville. Thank you for doing that. These thunderstorms continue to be very intense. Right now, our most pressing concern is Adair into western Washington County, where a confirmed tornado is on the ground. It has produced intense rotation. That rotation has at multiple junctures produced a tornado. It remains observed. Peavine, Stillwell, Morrow, Fairfield. Your warning runs until 7:15. We've got 5 more minutes to go before a new warning is either issued or allowed to expire. Lincoln is included in the path of this supercell. Lincoln, I've asked you to be in your safe place. I'd like you to stay put right there. This cell's moving through Dutch Mills right now, the Cane Hill community as well. Prairie Grove is not included in this tornado warning. Should it pulse back up, and it very well could, it may inevitably be included in a downstream tornado warning. Here's your rotation. It's moving through Peavine right now. These really bright pixels, these really bright colors, this is going to be the winds. This is going to be where we've got that spin happening in the atmosphere right now. When we look at the debris tracker, should there still be a tornado on the ground, it would be exactly where that rotation is. And it does look like there continues to be at least a small signal for some debris being lofted into the air to the west of Morrow, to the west of Dutch Mills. So we're closing in on the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line. We're probably about a mile or so away from the state line. Right there, this area of rotation producing damage right now. Okay, so it's about 3 miles west of Dutch Mills. That area of rotation is going to cross Highway 59, and it is going to move over towards Cane Hill and into the Lincoln community, especially the south side of town there. That's why I'm concerned for the folks in western Washington County. Brand new tornado warning. This one is going to include Fayetteville, or portions of Fayetteville anyways. It's going to include a large chunk of Washington County. I'll show it to you this way. Is that just not popping up on the map there yet, on that specific map? Okay, there it is, pulsing up right now. New tornado warning, Washington County. Lincoln, you're next in line. I need you in your safe place right now, please. Portions of Fayetteville is included in this warning. Here's the rotation right here. We're pushing northeast, and it is going to come through West Fork, and it is going to come through Farmington and Fayetteville in Lincoln. Your phones are alerting you right now that you are now included in a tornado warning. How fast is this one moving, folks?
This is moving to the northeast at 60 miles an hour.
Danny, thank you. Northeast at 60 miles per hour. It's moving quickly. This isn't one that you're going to want to just watch on television for a while. This is one that is going to arrive at your neck of the woods sooner than you want it to. Summers at 7:23, Lincoln at 7:27, Prairie Grove 7:36, Farmington 7:44, Washington Regional Medical Center, the general vicinity, that part of Fayetteville, 7:51, the downtown square at 7:52. You're in the path of this tornado. It is a tornado that has a history of being on the ground for quite some time. This is a very volatile situation.
Scott,
Yes.
877 customers without power in Adair County, so this is the cell that is tracking now through into portions of Washington County, so just a heads up there.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. This is, if you lose power, we're on our apps, right? We're always going to be there for you. And I've worked with that folks at iHeartRadio. We are simulcasting on all of their radio stations in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, and we're thankful for them to allow us to do that. Kicks 104, Hot 101.9, Magic 107.9, 93.3 The Eagle, KMAG 99.1, B98, Big Dog, and News Talk. Turn up the volume on your television. Stream us on the radio. Find us on our mobile apps. Very serious situation right now unfolding as a confirmed tornado continues to cross out of Oklahoma in Adair County into western Washington County. New tornado warning does include a good chunk of Fayetteville. Those winds are coming up. This thing is still spinning strong. I don't like it. It's not as tightly as wound up as it was, but that is a concerning signature as those winds continue to spin right now, closing in on Lincoln. I've been concerned about Lincoln for a while, and this is continuing to give me concern based off what I'm seeing.
It looks like we may have another debris ball coming
Another
back up.
debris
and it's
ball.
just now crossing the county line.
Yeah, just now crossing the county and the state line right there. Debris is moving right now on top of the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line, north of Dutch Mills, Kirk Lane, Lincoln. You've heard my pleas with you. Here's debris. Here's a tornado on the ground. Right now in Lincoln, you've got a tornado 5 miles to the west of you, okay? You got 5 miles and it's moving fast. It's moving really fast. It's moving at about, was this 60? I think it was about 60 or 65.
About 60, yep.
Okay, thank you. So that puts that in Lincoln at 7:25. You have less than 10 minutes. Don't use that full 10 minutes to go move the car. Don't use that 10 minutes to finish dishes. Go ahead and take those tornado safety precautions right now. Confirmed tornado again, moving into the Lincoln community. That does include Fayetteville. Folks in Fayetteville, this is a serious life-threatening situation in which you need to take very seriously right now. This is no longer Doppler radar indicated. This is a confirmed, observed tornado onto the ground, tracking near Lincoln, Farmington, Fayetteville. You're included in this tornado warning that is currently on the ground right now as we speak, and it has a history of producing a tornado all the way back as far south as Weber's Falls. Joshua, if there are a couple of cameras to spin around, Slim Chickens would be good. Downtown Fayetteville, you've already pointed off towards the southwest. Thank you. You might consider spinning some of the others just to be on the safe side there, give us an idea of what we can see when that comes through. Prairie Grove, I'm concerned for you. You need to be in your safe place right now as well. Very intense rotation. Now just to the south of Summers, closing in on the Lincoln community. Right now, that rotation is producing a tornado north of Dutch Mills, just a handful of miles to the west of Lincoln. It's closing in on Lincoln very fast. Debris signature right now continues to show up. It's dropping tornadoes, and it feels like it's lifting, and it's dropping, and it's lifting. That cycle has been continuing for the last several minutes, and I believe that is why that debris signature, at least as of right now, maybe not as pronounced as it was just a couple of minutes ago. A couple of minutes ago, that was a little bit more pronounced of a signature. Now I would venture to say it's not as pronounced, but when you look at the rotation, it's still just as intense. It's just as intense as it was. So while that may have lifted briefly, it's not to say that it may not come back down. That's moving towards Lincoln and Cane Hill, eventually up towards Prairie Grove. Joshua?
I was just going to interject. You could still kind of see the debris ball a little bit from the Tulsa radar, but more so from the Fort Smith. It kind of disappears a little bit.
Okay, thank you, Danny. couple of different radar options here for us. Strong rotation nonetheless. It almost looks like there's really just two pockets right there. Really, right in between would be your area of concern. Confirmed tornado moving towards Lincoln, closing in on Prairie Grove next. If you hear my voice, now's the time. Go ahead and take action. Promise you, we've gotten through these things before. We'll do it together. We're not going to leave you. We'll walk through it. Lincoln closing in on Highway 62 up towards Prairie Grove. Greenland will be next in line beyond that. Portions of Fayetteville, Farmington also included in this warning. We need to be go ahead and taking our tornado safety precautions. What I'd like to do is I'd like to put a track on this going into Fayetteville so I can give you folks in Fayetteville an idea of how long this is going to take before it makes its way into the area. In fact, when I do that, what you're going to notice is, given that it's moving so fast, you're not really going to have a lot of heads up. A lot of like lead time to actually get out and do things. Lincoln Middle School, 7:23. Let's jump to Farmington, 7:40. Owl Creek, 7:44. Campus, the U of A campus, Baumwalker Stadium, Razorback Stadium, 7:45. Washington Regional, 7:47. Downtown Fayetteville at the Square, 7:48. That's when this Doppler radar indicated rotation, I would say even confirmed tornado, is moving your direction right now. We go back and look at the debris signature, and what we're going to find is, looks like it's maybe come down just a bit. It's not as pronounced. Oh, actually it is.
It does look like it's moving down a little bit, but now you're starting to get more of a bow echo developing, and still could see that tornado pop up. And now you're seeing those winds really pick up, especially now into Benton County, Washington County, 70 to 80 mile per hour winds, and still could see that circulation come back up.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we have a confirmed tornado moving through Washington County right now. Damaging straight line winds moving through Fort Smith, moving through Arcoma, Greenwood, Van Buren, Uniontown, Natural Dam, Salisaw, let's say Brushy, getting back towards Podo. This is a severe thunderstorm. There is no rotation with it, at least as of right now. That's not to say that doesn't change. In fact, Danny, if you could you look at the Fort Smith area? I see a little bit of a kink there west of town.
Sure.
Make sure nothing's trying to spin up for us there. I'll stay focused on this one until you tell me otherwise. This is spinning rather quickly, moving towards Fayetteville. Rotation is right now on top of Lincoln. There have been numerous reports, numerous indications on radar that we have a tornado on the ground. And right there it is. Right there's the tornado on the ground. That's our debris signature. That's why this remains a confirmed tornado that is going to be lifting off towards the northeast, coming eventually into near Farmington, eventually towards Fayetteville as well. Prairie Grove included in that. You need to be in your locations that you know, in the centermost room of your home, putting as many walls between you and the exterior of your home as possible. That rotation is going to continue. Not only do you have rotation, you've also got some damaging winds associated with this as well. Those damaging winds can cause just as much damage as a tornado would. And go back to our debris signature, still seeing a signature right there. Unfortunately, it's just lifting and it drops and it lifts and it drops, and I'm afraid that's going to continue for us likely over the next several minutes. Springdale's not included in the warning, although you very well could be next in line after this. West Fork, this is just to the west of town in West Fork. Not going to see the spin with that one, but West Fork, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning for the potential of up to 70 mile per hour straight line winds. That's a concern for a lot of folks as well in Washington County. New severe thunderstorm warning coming out for those folks there. Debris signature back just to the southwest of Lincoln. Goodness gracious.
And not to overlook this tornado that's still on the ground, but just want to give another update for that storm near Podo. Radar is still estimating some very large hail, up to maybe tennis ball sized or larger, getting closer to the community of Podo here. Okay,
thank you so much. Large hail, golf ball size. In Podo, coming into Podo in LaFleur County. Very strong thunderstorm there. Continuing to see debris to the southwest of Lincoln. Hey, I'm going to have to do the same thing. My batteries are going to be dead soon. If you don't mind getting those ready for me. Cane Hill is where that tornado is right now. Moving into Cane Hill, south of Highway 62. We're about maybe a mile south of Lincoln. That's going to come very, very close up towards Prairie Grove. Here's Hawkeye right here, technically included in that warning. Greenland also included in this new tornado warning. West Fork is not, but it's going to come far too close for comfort for you there. We go back into our rotation. Here's where it is. It's a broader area of rotation, but the fact that the rotation is there and that we continue to see the debris signature at times indicates to us that that's probably going to be a concern for us. Let's do this. Danny, if Danny can voice this for the next couple of minutes, my batteries are about to die. I need to swap these out.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we're continuing to watch a couple of areas of concern. Obviously, we're watching the Washington County storm. We're seeing that, again, that debris ball moving into parts of Washington County, now heading towards the Prairie Grove area, northeast, kind of along Highway 62 towards Fayetteville, excuse me. We're also looking for is there is a little bit of a twist northwest of the Poto area, south of Panama. That's another area we're watching just west of 271. So we're continuing to watch that. Again, we're continuing to see debris signatures just to the south and east of Lincoln. So that's our primary concern right now. As Joshua mentioned, we're still seeing up to potentially 2-inch size hail in LaFleur County. Again, we're watching that potentially spin up as well. Once we get Scott situated here, we'll watch that as well. Again, the primary concern right now is that debris signature near the Lincoln area between Lincoln and Prairie Grove, moving to the northeast at around 50 to 60 miles per hour. Tornado on the ground with a little bit of debris still being watched. You can see kind of hugging Highway 62 just southeast of Lincoln, and then another little debris kind of just north of Highway 62 there southwest of Prairie Grove.
Okay, thank you very much. Very volatile situation all across the 5 News viewing area. Damaging winds, some circulation now picking back up in LaFleur County. Tornado on the ground just to the south of Lincoln. I'm very concerned. This one's about to come through the Fayetteville community. Your phones have alerted you. I think the sirens are sounding. We can hear some of those. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground. Multiple debris signatures showing up in the radar data. And you can see there's actually 3 different, as Danny said, 3 different tornado debris signatures right here, now east of Lincoln. That is moving closer to Prairie Grove. Prairie Grove, the fact that this is moving so quickly now is got to be the time that you're in your locations in which you can put as many walls between you and the exterior of your home as possible. It's right along Highway 62, south of South Weddington Blacktop Road. That is going to be traveling almost parallel with Highway 62 into Prairie Grove right now. If you're in Prairie Grove, if you're in Fayetteville, if you're in Farmington, you need to be in your safe place right now. Greenland as well. This tornado has not weakened really at all consistently since as far back as Weber's Falls. It has been tracking into the area since then, and at times it has dropped multiple tornadoes. There's no reason to believe that it's going to not do that over the next couple of minutes. I think it's going to continue strengthening. It's going to continue dropping tornadoes unless we can just see this thing weaken very, very quickly, and I'm afraid that's not likely to be the case. Purple warning polygon. If you live in this, you are under a serious threat right now. Your safety is at risk. This is a confirmed tornado warning. This is Doppler radar indicated rotation that we see the debris being lofted into the atmosphere. That only happens when you have a tornado warning that's actually on the ground right now. In addition to that, we have damaging straight line winds concurring at the exact same time as this tornado warning is likely producing a tornado now coming into the Prairie Grove community just to the south. It was just to the south of Lincoln. Now it's moving off towards the east-northeast. Fayetteville, be in your safe place right now. Farmington as well. Now is the time to seek shelter. This is a very serious situation. This is not one of those hypotheticals that sometimes never really materializes. This is actually happening right now. This is the time to take this storm very, very seriously.
Yeah, and the debris ball has only grown south of Prairie Grove. It's become 1. It looks like it's maybe shifting a little bit east. The most recent tornado warning has said east at 90 miles per hour, so coming very fast.
There's no time. You have to be in your safe location right now. There is no time. If it's moving at 90 miles per hour, this is moving faster than radar. This is moving faster than interstate speeds. New tornado warning coming out for LaFleur County as well. If this is moving, Greenland, I just need you in your safe place really, really quickly. Tornado right now on top of Prairie Grove, moving towards Greenland. Elkins next in line. Elkins and Fayetteville and Greenland. You have a very strong tornado likely tracking your direction right now. It will come very close to West Fork at the moment. Darren, what did you say about Fort Smith?
I'm looking at, from my mind, is on the Fort Smith
Joshua, can you relay that here in a minute? I'm
All
gonna
right, I
focus
should
in.
be able to hear me now. Sorry.
Okay.
The Fort Smith Mercy camera is showing what is coming in
From LaFleur?
from LaFleur County, and then
Okay.
there's a lot of lightning. I don't know what I'm looking at here, but
all
I'm just
good.
seeing a lot of lightning right now,
Yep.
and a lot of movement in the clouds.
Okay, thank you, Darren Bob, for that. Prairie Grove tornado right now has just passed through Prairie Grove Lake Road, Early Road, Green Valley Estates Road, Hog-Eye Road, Center Point Church Road. That is moving off towards the east very, very, very fast. Weather Service has it progged at storm motion at 90 miles per hour. That's very concerning. The radar is not going to be able to keep up with that. So the fact is, that's where we see the rotation right now. But if there is a tornado happening at that fast, it is closing in on West Fork and Greenland right now. West Fork's not included in the warning, but I'm just going to call it out. If you live in West Fork, this is concerning. Just to the north side of town is where that would be moving. Greenland is going to be taking the brunt of this. It looks like Greenland's going to be directly in the path of this cell. Beyond that is going to be Elkins. If you're in Greenland or Elkins, it's trying to take a little bit of a right turn is what I'm afraid of. This was moving more east-northeast earlier. The fact that it's kind of starting to turn off a little bit towards the east there indicates to me that it's a violent tornado. Okay, let's do this. While we're waiting on a new scan for that to come in, we do have a new tornado warning for Sequoia and LaFleur counties. Let me touch on that one. Let's get an idea of what's happening. That's that same old cell that had been causing us all kinds of issues earlier this afternoon. This specific cell right here, that's going to be closing in on Spiro. Not only does it have incredibly large hail likely falling right now in Panama and Poto, it actually has some intense rotation with it right there on Panama. Spiro, you're next in line. Pecola, Brents, the community there in southern Sequoia County. You need to be seeking shelter right now. Strong rotation coming up along Highway 271 in Panama. How fast was this LaFleur County when moving?
This is 30 miles an hour.
Okay, so
And
this one's
just real
moving
quick, it looks like that one is also confirmed.
debris signature here as well in Panama.
Yes, it looks like it. We just got a new update that
Yeah.
says the confirmed tornado was located near Panama, moving northeast at 30.
My God.
It's the RDOT cam on at mile marker 49.
Mile marker 49.
It's the Pitkin Corner RDOT cam. I'm not sure who can. I'm just watching it. It looks very interesting right now.
Okay, we have multiple confirmed tornadoes on the ground right now. This one is going to be the one on 49 in Washington County. Is that right? New tornado warning. Okay, stay here on live radar. New tornado warning for eastern Washington County. This also includes Fayetteville. This one also includes Johnson, Springdale. Okay. That's in some incredibly intense rotation right here between West Fork and Fayetteville. That specific cell is producing a tornado, likely right now crossing I-49. I think that's what we just saw right there, Darren. Thanks for pointing that out. This is rapidly moving off towards the east-northeast. New tornado warning includes Hinesville and Huntsville, Fayetteville. It also includes Springdale. Very large tornado warning. This rotation is about as strong as what I've seen thus far here this afternoon, right on top of I-49. This is going to be crossing at Greenland. We likely have a tornado in progress, very likely, if not at this moment, in the next couple of moments in Greenland right now. This was the debris signature, and that rotation is going to probably continue on the ground right through Greenland. My hope is that that is not what just happened, but it looks like Greenland may have just taken a hit with that cell. I really hope not, but there was the debris. There it was off towards the east. Rotation now quickly racing through the Greenland community. My, oh my, this is a very disturbing situation, folks. This is really a serious one. It's tracking off towards the east-northeast. Folks in Goshen, seek shelter right now. Folks in Elkins, be in your safe location right now. This is going to be tracking up right there along Highway 16 that runs into the Elkins community. Fayetteville through Elkins along Highway 16. Fayetteville through Elkins along Highway 16. Seek shelter right now. This storm is likely producing a tornado at this exact moment. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to I don't think it's going to weaken. I don't think it's going to change any at all. We have another tornado warning, likely confirmed tornado on the ground. We're going to have to bounce between both of these, and we're going to do our best. This is going to be in Panama, LaFleur County. We have a tornado on the ground coming up into the Spiro community there as well. Very strong winds, minimally. Strong rotation, though, right here to the east of Panama, coming up into the Spiro community. Bacola is going to be next in line. This does include portions of Sequoia County. That crosses 271 right now. It's moving a little bit slower, but nonetheless, a very intense signature of some Doppler radar indicated rotation, Doppler radar indicated debris being lofted into the atmosphere. Both of these are confirmed tornadoes on the ground. There's your rotation. There's exactly where the debris is being lofted, just to the east of Panama right now. 2-inch in diameter hail, so extremely large hail also likely moving into the area as well. Tahana, right now, just to the west of Williams, you've got a large tornado potentially on the ground right now, producing some damage east of Shady Point, coming into the Hackett community beyond that. It may stay just to the west of Hackett, but if I'm in Hackett, I'm nervous. If I'm in Hackett, I'm taking shelter anyways. You've got some damaging winds likely getting closer and closer to that Arkansas-Oklahoma state line. That storm is going to be lifting up into the Fort Smith area. Fort Smith, you're not under a tornado warning right now. I want you to treat this as if you are. This is tracking up into the western Sebastian County. Travis, you got to get ready for this one.
And we may have a view, it's hard to see, but it looks like our Slim Chickens camera may be getting at least the edge of this as it's moving into South Fayetteville.
Okay. Let's stay here. Let's stay here with that. Thank you. Let me know if anything changes right there. I can kind of see it out of the corner of my eye. 2 observed tornadoes right now, both tracking through the 5 News viewing area. This is an extremely dangerous situation. Right now, we've got a confirmed tornado in Washington County near Greenland. We've got a confirmed tornado in LaFleur County passing up near Panama and Cameron. That's going to eventually track it over into the Fort Smith region, I'm afraid. Tornado is likely on the ground right now, just south of Fayetteville. We very well likely have a tornado at this moment right here on the south side of Fayetteville. I'm going to do this. I need everyone here at the television station to seek shelter immediately. I'm going to ride this out. I'll join you if I have to. Everyone here at the station, seek shelter right now. Large area of rotation, Doppler radar indicated, debris signature. We likely have a confirmed tornado between Greenland and Fayetteville. This is moving towards the Wyman community. Here's towards Baldwin. Here's towards Elkins. Here's Highway 16. This is moving up towards the east-northeast. It has been somewhat erratic when it comes to storm motion, and that's why if you're in Johnson, you're included in this tornado warning. If you're in Fayetteville, you're included in this warning. We have a tornado on the ground right now, likely crossing, sitting right on top of 49 and 71. It's moving over towards Goshen. Folks here in the station, your safe room is the control room.
Oh yeah, the RDOT camera is violently shaking at right in that general vicinity. That may be coming through there here shortly.
Okay, if we can pull that.
It's the one that's
okay.
down into.
Yeah, it's the one south of that camera.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I also need to do this. Can you pull up the ACHE camera in Fort Smith? I can see something from there. Oh my, folks. ACHE camera, I know you're working on it right there. Okay, this is in Fort Smith looking into that storm. There's going to be your wall cloud right there. This is looking back over towards Cameron. This is going to be lifting up towards the north and east. Fort Smith, you're not included in a tornado warning yet. You more than likely will be very, very soon. Tornadoes moving rapidly into the area south of Fort Smith, south of Fayetteville. Back to live radar, please. Keep watching that ACHE camera, if you will, in Fort Smith. My goodness, this rotation is incredibly intense. New tornado warning coming out right now. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground. Debris being lifted just to the north of the airport, there from Drake Field. This is going to continue moving over towards Elkins and Goshen, eventually into Madison County, Baldwin, Harris, Fayetteville, Goshen. You are next in line. Here's your rotation right here. It is very easy to see. Very strong rotation, and that's going to continue. It's not going to weaken. Unfortunately, when it comes to the debris signature, it's persistently been there, and that's why we know this is a confirmed tornado. There it is. That's probably the largest debris signature I've seen today. I'm afraid this storm continues to pulse up. Very, very dangerous situation unfolding right now east of Greenland. Now it's quickly moving out of the area. Some of the locations that probably just took a hit: Wilson Hollow Road, South Hafer Road. Here's 71. Here's North Allen Street right now. Danny, could you keep me abreast of our own situational safety right here? I'm going to focus on the other folks, but if you could keep the folks here at the station safe, I'm going to trust you to do that for us. This is moving towards Goshen and Hinesville, right there along 412. Here's 45, Fayetteville through Goshen, Fayetteville towards Elkins. Strong tornado likely moving into the area. At this point, it's moving so fast, you only have a matter of moments to go ahead and seek shelter right now. Huntsville, Hinesville also included in this tornado warning. Anywhere between Huntsville and Hinesville, you also need to seek shelter immediately with this specific cell. We're going to go back into our LaFleur County cell, doing our best to cover everybody here at the same time. It's pretty tough to do when you have 2 confirmed tornadoes. New warning for Sebastian County. New warning, tornado warning, Sebastian County, Fort Smith included. This one is also going to include Hackett and Greenwood. This is the south side of Fort Smith. Bacola also included in this new tornado warning. Strong Doppler radar indicated rotation right here south of Bacola. Velocity signatures show that rotation is very tight just to the southwest of Bacola. When we look at the debris signature, it's not there as it once was. That's potentially good. I don't trust it. We've seen these things pulse up and pulse down. The rotation in of itself is quite intense. Right now, that's going to be closing in on Oklahoma 112 near Rock Island, just to the west of Hackett. Hackett, you're included in this new tornado warning. This new tornado warning also includes Greenwood, south side of Fort Smith. Does not include Van Buren, I don't think. Let me bounce back up. Does include Barling. Where's that ACHE camera? Can we go to that ACHE camera real quick? Okay, this is live happening right now. This is our Fort Smith ACHE camera. I'm going to spin it around and we're going to have to look all up and down that line. My goodness. You see the rain shield over there. This is probably going to be the wall cloud. $70-mile per rocket trying to spin up a tornado. Okay, here's actually the wall cloud right here. This is going to be it. We're looking directly into the heart of that storm right there. Folks up top, roll on that for me, please. Up and down it. Western Sebastian County, Hackett, southern Fort Smith, Barling, seek shelter immediately. This storm is trying to spin up a tornado, and it very well could be happening right now, embedded with all that rain, and we'd probably just never see it. Back to live radar, please. We'll keep an eye on that. Joshua, if you can keep an eye on that ACHE camera for me. We're going to go back to live radar area wide, and what we're going to find is that rotation near Rock Island continues, and that is going to continue to be tracking into northwestern and western Sebastian County. Here's where that is. Our camera right over in here, kind of looking directly into that. So it's going to be in a pretty good spot for us to be able to see that. That specifically is a very dangerous situation as well. We go back to our debris tracker, and it does look like there very well could be some debris now showing up right there south of Bacola. It is a messy signature. It's not the best, but that very well could be some debris being lofted there just to the south of Bacola. It is definitely trying to produce a tornado. It may be happening imminently right now. That's where the hook is. That's where you would expect it to be, right there along 112, East McKenzie, Ellis Loop, Love Street, Carter Street, right there west of Hackett. It's going to be moving into western Sebastian County over the next couple of minutes. Area wide, we've got 2 tornado warnings, 2 confirmed tornadoes, 1 in Fayetteville, 1 in Fort Smith. It's a bad day, folks. 1 in Fort Smith, 1 in Fayetteville, both on the ground right now. This one to the east of Fayetteville is moving closer and closer to Elkins and Goshen. Sonora, Mayfield, Hinesville, you're next in line with the specific cell. Strong Doppler radar indicated rotation, strong debris signature, which tells us, oh my goodness, it's still on the ground. It's moving towards Tuttle. It's about to cross right now, Highway 16. Moving towards Wyman, moving towards Goshen. I've got some friends at the Goshen Homemaker Extension Club. I speak to you guys a lot about safety. Now's the time. This is why. Observed tornado moving towards Alabama, Elkins, Goshen, Huntsville. Your tornado warning runs through 8 o'clock. Observed tornado, likely some hail, likely some wind coming out of that cell as well. This is your Doppler radar indicated debris signature. This is what's telling us it's on the ground right now. This is what has been producing a tornado likely over the last couple of hours, as far back as Weber's Falls. This continues. It's going right into Goshen. This is going to be moving towards Goshen, towards 412. It's going to come close to Hinesville. This will move east of Springdale, okay? This is going to move east of Springdale. That's the concern right there. We go back into Fort Smith. Very dangerous situation there. There's your hook echo. You can easily see it right now. This one's moving a little bit slower. Unfortunately, it's intensifying and it's trying its hardest to produce a tornado. Rotation reported south of Hackett by a confirmed source. That was probably south of Hackett looking into the northeast, because that rotation, as far as I'm seeing it, is probably closer and closer into the Picola area right now. It's going to cross 253, coming up along 71. Barling. Right here's the Doppler radar site. You know where that's at. It's near the airport, Fort Smith Regional Airport. This storm is moving right towards the Doppler radar. I know a lot of folks drive past it and know exactly what it is. If not that, we're talking south of the airport. This is where that rotation is moving through right now, moving towards Barling, Greenwood. Lavaca is next in line. Lavaca, you're not in a warning. I want you to be on guard. This cell has produced intense rotation and it has produced debris at times. This cell is right now on top of the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line. Let me go back to our ACHE camera quickly as we can. This is going to be it. Here's going to be, there's likely, if there's not a tornado embedded in this right now, this is exactly where it would be. This is where one is trying to spin up, and we're looking live into the heart of that storm. As you can see it tracking off towards the east-northeast. If there's something spinning, and in fact you can actually see the spin in the atmosphere. If you just look at those clouds right there, you can see the rotation. You can see the rotation right there. Very intense lightning. It's a very healthy thunderstorm, likely producing some strong rotation. It is going to be coming very, very close to the Doppler radar site, and that is no good news. Can't lose our eyes out there. Okay, back to radar, please. Look into the debris. We're taking some lightning strikes here at the station. It's okay. That's why you're seeing your screen shake, and we apologize for that.
And just an update, that one back in Washington County, still a large debris signature. Weather Service now calling this a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado making its way into Elkins.
Okay, large and confirmed extremely dangerous tornado moving into the Elkins community right now. It's been on the ground for a while and it is not lifting. It is a large, extremely dangerous tornado moving towards Elkins, moving towards Goshen, next in line. Right here, you look at the debris, and it's easy to see exactly where it's at. It's in Elkins right now. Minimally, it's on the north side of town. Next, it's passing up closer and closer to Goshen. Best we can hope for is that maybe it splits the difference. It goes in between the two, and I'm sorry for the folks that may live there, but this is likely going to be moving into, it's already been into populated areas.
We also have 9,000 power outages with that, so I think at this point we have some confirmed damage with multiple power outages kind of in that vicinity. You know, people may be thinking they can just, you know, ride this out or it's going to miss them. Not to overhype this, but this is a life-threatening situation.
Yep. Thank you. This is your concern right here, just to the east of Fayetteville. Tornado on the ground, moving towards Elkins, Goshen, Huntsville, and Hinesville. This is, as Joshua said, a very life-threatening situation. Debris continues to show up. The longer that debris is on, the more damage it's doing, and that's what we find out there. Unfortunately, this evening, it's happening right here, right there where that hook echo is, and it continues to show that. If we could take Mercy Fort Smith right there. Yes, all clear here in the station. Mercy Fort Smith, thank you for seeking shelter. Mercy Fort Smith, this is a live look outside. This is probably the wall cloud right here, just to the right side of the screen. Robbie, if you could adjust me just a little bit, our engineer Robbie helping us out this evening, thank you. Yep, that's exactly what it is. That's the wall cloud right there, moving into southern Fort Smith. Rotation reported near Bear Hollow Road, south of Bonanza. Wall cloud right here, rotating rapidly. Tornado could be imminent at any moment. You're looking back towards the airport, back in that general direction. You can kind of see the spinning lights right there. Okay, let's go back to live Doppler radar if we could. Keep an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on it too. I can see it over here on the right side of my screen. 2 confirmed tornadoes on the ground, Fort Smith, Fayetteville, both of which confirmed tornadoes on the ground. This one's not coming into downtown Fort Smith per se. Actually, they're new. Is that a new tornado warning? Is that a new one? almost, or is that a different severe thunderstorm warning? You got really 2 tornado warnings happening right there. Is what
Just
it
a
looks
severe
like.
thunderstorm warning.
Okay.
The tornado warnings remain the same.
Okay, this one is going to cross right on top of the Doppler radar. That hook echo is overtaking the Doppler radar. My, oh my, I'm praying right now that we don't lose the radar. We need that radar this evening. If not, we'll use Tulsa, we'll use Springfield, we'll be fine. That rotation. So what's happening here, it happens in the movies. The rotation is entered into what's called the cone of silence. Cone of silence is right here, where it's right on top of the radar. It's no longer useful to us, right there. Jenny Lynn Road, New Jenny Lynn Road, Barling, Harrelton. You need to go and take shelter. This is going to be crossing over to near Lavaca. This is coming near Lavaca. You will likely be an additional warning should one be issued for you. And I suspect at this rate there probably will be one issued for you based off of this storm alone. We've lost visual of that on radar because basically we're sitting on top of the radar's head. Eyes can't see above your head, right? That's the concern. That's the issue why we've pretty much lost sight. But there's a very strong hook echo right there overtaking the radar, and that's as best we can see. That is going to be coming to the north side of Greenwood towards Lavaca. If you're in Lavaca, you're not in a warning, but I need you to consider yourself under a warning. Eventually, that does take that into southern Franklin County. Large tornado, confirmed tornado just to the in the Elkins, Goshen community as well. This by the Weather Service also observed. It's been on the ground for quite some time. We're closing in on the Madison, Washington County line. Debris signature right now shows this. It's a little bit messy. Maybe it's already crossed. What do you guys think about that? Is this east of Elkins now? I don't think so. Maybe there just isn't one. Maybe it's...
It's starting to kind of blend in a little bit with the radar beam. It looks like it would be just to the northeast of Elkins, just along Highway 16 it looks like.
Okay, probably right there in the Goshen community? Is that where that rotation would be? Right?
Yeah, either there or just a little bit south and east of Goshen.
Okay, yeah. I think that's probably the general vicinity right there, south and east of Goshen, coming up along Highway 412 between Springdale and Huntsville. That's where that's probably about to cross. We'll go a little bit tighter. Let me give you a cross street here of where that's probably going to be crossing 412. Pretty much right there on the county line. Mayfield, Hinesville. Your life is in danger right now. Confirmed tornado on the ground moving towards Hinesville, Arkansas. Hinesville, Arkansas, take your tornado safety precautions. This storm rapidly moving your direction. Confirmed history of producing tornadoes. Likely is producing a tornado right now. Is that an updated tornado warning for Sebastian? It's right on top of the radar. We're not going to be able to see a darn thing. My goodness. There's some rotation back here towards Braden as well. Right here. Here's your rotation there. Rotation's going to be right on top of our Doppler radar. It's moving towards Barling, Harrelton, Lavaca here. Next in line to get that. Very strong thunderstorm. Mercy Fort Smith right now. Mercy Fort Smith. Mercy Fort Smith. Get me that camera. What is that? Oh, man. I'm not sure if that's the rain shield, if that's a wall cloud. That very well could be a tornado right now. We are looking directly into something that is not good, whatever this is. I'm not seeing power flashes. That's one of the things we'll look for. If a tornado's on the ground, it would be ripping up power lines.
It's kind of hard to tell, but it does look very ominous.
I don't like this at all. I think this very well could be, this is no good. This is likely something very bad happening right now south of Fort Smith near the Doppler radar site. There very well could be an embedded tornado in there. I can't tell for sure if anything's making it to the ground. I don't know. That doesn't look right. I think we can all agree with that. That could just be heavy, intense rain that is appearing to be a tornado. I don't like the look of that, given what we're seeing on radar as well. This is going to be the south side of Fort Smith, coming up towards Barling. Can we zoom out any at all? We may already be zoomed out. It may be just closing in on the camera there. That may be the issue that we're facing. Okay. Whatever that was has now been overtaken by rain. We're not going to be able to see it. We are looking off towards the south and the east. That is whatever is rotating right now. That could have been a touchdown. I don't know. We'll have to wait to see what reports come out of damage. I'm not seeing debris. We wouldn't, unfortunately, see debris. We're just too close. We're right on top of that Doppler radar there in Fort Smith. Actually, was that, folks, I think we just saw a tornado in Barling. I can't tell for sure, but is that a correlation dropout just southwest of Barling or west of Barling?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It looks like it could be, though.
That would have been that same area. If it wasn't a tornado, it sure is a tornado look-alike. I think that could have just been the situation we just dealt with right there. That is going to be moving towards Harrelton. It's going to be crossing the Arkansas River here over the next few minutes over into Crawford County. I expect a new additional tornado warning likely to be issued at any moment on account of that storm, likely moving towards the east. Rotation there, again, we're still too close to the radar to know for sure, but it is certainly a real concern for us with the presence of that, whatever that feature was that we just saw move through on live television. Let's go to this. Let's go back here to radar. That's where the hook echo is, maybe just to the south there. That could have been what we just saw come through. We're now exiting. We're still affected by the cone of silence, but we're now pushing off towards the east, up towards Barling and Lavaca. Very intense thunderstorm likely moving through. That rotation has come up. That rotation is very, very intense right now. Just to the south of Barling, coming into the Barling community, that's going to be causing a serious concern. We'll go back into the debris signature right now. I think that could have been it. I think that's what we just saw.
And trying to see if we can see from the Tulsa site if maybe there was a little bit of debris
That's
there
a good
just
idea.
a second ago.
That's a good idea. Get a little bit different advantage of that. You might even try Little Rock if that does, just to be on the safe side. Strong hook echo coming into Central City, Barling, Highway 22, potentially producing a tornado. Right now, Doppler radar indicated rotation, potentially producing a tornado, moving into Barling and Central City, closer and closer to Lavaca, now passing through New Jenny Lind, Fort Chaffee, also going to be in the path of this storm, portions of it anyways. Let's do this. Let's go back and check in on our Northwest Arkansas storm. Large and confirmed tornado on the ground there as well. Damage reports now starting to be relayed to us now that the threat is past the east of Fayetteville, Washington County. Your storm continues to be very intense. Okay, we did just have debris on tornado. Wall cloud reported south side of Fort Smith. That's what we just saw, folks. That's what we just saw. I need to tell, Danny, could you get in Tulsa chat? Tell them we likely just saw it on camera come through south side of Fort Smith or near the radar. Just say near the radar, they'll know. We have a, yes. Confirmed tornado, Barling, Lavaca, Riverdale. That's what we just saw on television, folks. We saw that tornado in real time moving through the area. This is a very, very bad day. It's a very, very bad day. And unfortunately, the threat's not over yet. That new tornado warning does include Franklin County, does include Madison County. You always hope these days don't pan out like you forecast them. You always hope you're wrong. Right now, Lavaca, Barling, tornado on the ground. Tornado on the ground coming into the Barling community. Right now, crossing Highway 22. Lavaca is next in line after that. Lavaca is going to be included in this new warning. Kibler is also included in this new warning. The Riverdale community also included. You need to seek shelter immediately right now. Charleston as well. Charleston, concern for you folks there. Concern for the folks across the large majority of Franklin County.
And time is of the essence for the sheltering out there. This storm is moving to the northeast at around 60 miles an hour.
Okay, this one's not going to give you a lot of time. It's passing Fort Chaffee right now. Is a confirmed tornado, likely on the ground right now, coming into the Charleston community. It's passing through Central City, Fort Chaffee, Barling. Next in line is going to be Lavaca. I need you in your safe location right now. Mulberry, Watalula, Ozark, Vesta, Cecil, Peter Pender, next in line, confirmed tornado on the ground. Altus included in this warning.
Looks like we have a possible debris signature near Central City now.
Yep, I agree. That's what we just saw move through south side of Fort Smith, live from our Mercy Fort Smith camera. Central City debris signature. We've got a tornado moving through Central City. Tornado moving through Lavaca, crossing Highway 22, moving over towards 255, I should say. Tornado on the ground. Right here it is, confirmed, large, violent tornado, very well could be tracking through Central City right now. Lavaca is next in line. At that speeds, at the speeds of 60 to 65 miles per hour, you don't have time to really seek shelter. You just got to do it right now. Don't worry about grabbing things. Get the kids, put them in the safest room in your home. That's going to be the lowest possible level. That's going to be as many walls between you and the exterior of your home as possible. This is a confirmed tornado, likely moving across Fort Chaffee right now. We just saw it move near Barling. It crossed right there on the Doppler radar site. We saw that live from our camera. We know this one is on the ground now as well, and it is moving into eastern Sebastian County, soon into Franklin. Debris signature continues right here. North of Greenwood. Greenwood's probably going to avoid this one. Central City is not. There's a tornado right now in Central City. There's a tornado coming towards Lavaca. Let's do this. Back out a little bit. This one, Joshua, you said 65?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. I'll put a track on this. Central City, now. Lavaca, 803, now. Ursula, 807. Riverdale, 809. Vesta, 810. Peter Pender, 815. Cecil, 816. Meg, 818. Etna at 819. Cravens at 821. Ozark at 823. Estimated times of arrival. Very violent tornado, likely moving into the area right now. This one's going to continue tracking almost with the Arkansas River right there. Actually, it's far south of it, I'm sorry. It's going to be tracking the county line. The county line right there between Crawford and Sebastian. Portions of Crawford County included in this warning as well. Back up to northwest Arkansas. This tornado warning continues. New one for portions of Madison and Carroll County as well. This one, is this one still observed?
No longer observed. There is a new warning for Madison and Carroll County at this time.
Okay, new warning. It's no longer observed. We're no longer picking up debris, but we are seeing some strong Doppler radar indicated rotation now between Hinesville and Huntsville. No longer seeing the debris signature. I bet it comes back. These things have been pulsing up and they've been pulsing down. There's no reason to believe that's not what's happening right now. Soon that's going to be crossing over into Carroll County. Right now, Huntsville and Hinesville. Clifty, I need you folks to seek shelter immediately. Just because there's not debris at the moment doesn't mean there might not be some in the very near future. A tornado is likely going to be imminent. This thing is likely just cycling. That's all it's doing. This thing is only cycling. Hinesville, Huntsville, Clifty, please take your tornado safety precautions right now. Alabama, Marble as well. Hunker down, stay there. I'll give you the all clear when I can. Right now, we have a tornado on the ground moving through Central City, Lavaca, eastern Sebastian County, western Franklin County, north central Franklin County. This is going to be a violent tornado, potentially producing significant damage. Right now, it just moved through Fort Chaffee, and it is likely still on the ground. Looking into the debris signature right now, it's a little bit messy of a signature. Maybe it just lifted just a bit, just to the west of Lavaca. Rotation, potentially, has that come down just a tad?
Yeah, looking at that last scan, it's kind of hard to tell because we are still close enough to that cone of silence where it may be interfering with that signal, but just to the east of Central City, still seeing pretty consistent normalized rotation. It's located right now on Highway 22 southwest of Lavaca.
Okay, I think so. Central City to Lavaca, likely a tornado on the ground. Debris signature is not as clear as it was. That doesn't mean it's not currently on the ground right now. I believe it probably is right there along Highway 22, Carter Street, 255, Barrington Drive. It's going to be moving towards North Highway 253, Crow Road, Feathers Hill Road, Military Road, Barrington Road. That's where that rotation is moving next, right there in Lavaca. Ursula is next in line beyond that. Vesta is when that's going to be crossing into Franklin County. Charleston included in this tornado warning as well. You are likely going to be just to the south of it unless it turns. And this storm has actually turned earlier off towards the east. And when we start to see that rotation turning, the storm's turning right, it means it's a deviant storm, and those are often some of the worst. And so while Charleston, you're looking okay at the moment, I don't want you to hear me saying you're okay and not take your tornado shelter, your tornado safety precautions. This thing could turn. Based off its current track, I think it may just go just to the north side of town, coming out of Lavaca. That's going to be pushing into Vesta, Cecil, eventually into the Ozark community. Right now, tornado likely on the ground near Cecil, near Central City and near Lavaca right now. When we look at the winds and the rotation, that's probably where it would be. I'll tell you though, it's looking a little bit better than it just was. Let's hope it's continuing to weaken. There still appears to be some debris in the radar east-southeast of Central City. We can look into that debris right here, and what you're going to see, we're probably looking at it just to the east-southeast. It's a bit of a messy signal, but there is likely a tornado on the ground happening right now, coming closer and closer to the Bloomer community. Bloomer, Lavaca, Ursula, Central City, that's where this tornado is right now. Could be a large one, hard to tell based off of what we're seeing right now, but a very intense situation unfolding as we speak. This is a life-threatening situation. The tornado is confirmed on the ground. This is not a hypothetical radar indicated. This is an observed. We have seen the debris signature, and there's continuing to be, I see that, Josh, we're going to go back to it, thank you. Debris now likely happening in Huntsville. Let me start here. This is Lavaca. This is where your concern is. That's going to be that hook echo. Huntsville, we're also seeing some debris. We've got to look into that for you right now. This is why I asked you to stay put. That debris signature now moving into the Huntsville community would indicate to us this tornado has spun back up and is going to continue to produce damage going into the next couple of minutes here. We need to stay put. If we're in northern Madison County, stay hunkered down. Right now it says radar indicated. That's probably going to be updated here in just a couple of seconds. Once we take a look at this debris signature, what we're going to notice is there is likely a little bit of debris right there in Huntsville. There it is, now observed. Now that we've seen that debris signature in Huntsville, we now have an observed tornado warning moving towards the northeast. That's going to be tracking up towards Marble City. This is going to be tracking as well near Alabama. This is going to eventually go into Carroll County. I said Marble City, I meant just Marble. I'm thinking about Sequoia County. Purdy as well. The Dean community here in Carroll County. We have a tornado right now likely moving through Huntsville. That's going to be south of 412, closing in on 412 as of this moment. It's moving somewhat quickly, so by the time you hear my voice, that tornado is likely going to be right there along Highway 412. Seeing numerous damage reports continue to come in from all across the area. This has been a very bad day, and it's not over yet. We may continue to track these storms. They're producing tornadoes, multiple tornadoes, likely confirmed at this point based off of just radar alone. It's going to take some time to assess the damage, but right now, based off of the radar signature here, we probably do have a tornado in progress in the town of Huntsville, Madison County. That's tracking towards the northeast, towards Marble. Purdy is also included in this specific warning. It will be crossing 412 in the next 4 to 5 minutes if it hasn't already. I think these storms are moving very quickly at times. New tornado warning, or they're just updating this one. What's the update on this one in Sebastian Franklin?
The good news is it looks like that one's been undercut and no longer on the ground, so they're going ahead and continuing it because of that risk, but saying it's no longer confirmed.
Okay, so radar indicated rotation, but it's likely not on the ground, at least as of this moment. You saw what just happened in Madison County, where it was radar confirmed, it likely lifted, we were no longer seeing debris signatures, and then it pulsed back up. That's a real concern for us, okay? So that more than likely is going to be something we see happen. So while right now there's probably not a tornado on the ground in Sebastian moving into Franklin, it very well could be just a matter of time before it spins up. Please stay hunkered down. Please stay exactly where you're at in your safe locations. This rotation is going to continue to track just to the north of Charleston. Eventually down the line, it's going to move towards Webb City, Vesta, Cecil, and before crossing towards Ozark and Altus, somewhere in that general vicinity. Rotation's still there. It's not as pronounced as it was. We need that trend to continue. That sure is my hope here this afternoon. Rotation is coming down, but it's still persistent enough that we see some concerns. Back into Huntsville, confirmed tornado on the ground once more. Huntsville, Madison County. So if you're in Marble, Alabama, Purdy, Huntsville, please stay put right now. Observed tornado continues to produce damage. We can see the debris being lofted into the atmosphere right now. Signature there is really messy. There could be a little bit of interference right now moving through the Huntsville community. Okay, this is from the Fort Smith radar. Look from Springfield. Let's look from Tulsa. It's messy. It's going to be really messy in there. When we look at the radar signature, we'll probably be able to see there's a little bit of a notch right here, and yeah, you can see that's where that rotation is. If there's a tornado happening, that's probably exactly where it would be, closing in on the Carroll County line right there. In fact, I think I'll be able to pinpoint exactly where that is right here. Your rotation likely right now on top of Alabama. moving quickly. This one's moving very fast. Rotation continues to indicate that the tornado very well could still be in progress. Now north of Huntsville, if you're in Huntsville, please stay put. It's not over yet. It will be soon. That is moving towards Green Forest. Berryville is also included in this new tornado warning there in portions of Carroll County. When we look at it just on the rain mode, sometimes that can be effective when we get in these higher elevations. Kind of tough to see, but that little hook echo, that little inflow notch there is exactly where we would probably be seeing that organized rotation. Marble in Madison County. Hard to see debris right now. Very well, yeah, I agree with that. Weather Service telling us that the radar at that far away, at that distance, and that level of the atmosphere is probably going to be tough to see debris, but based off the rotation, I think is a safe bet that if a tornado is not happening at this moment, it likely just was near Marble, and that it very well could be imminent if it is lifted for the brief moment. These things are lifting and dropping and lifting and dropping, and that continues to be the case likely over the last several minutes. Back into Sebastian and Franklin County we go. 2 tornado warnings right now remain, 1 confirmed Madison. We're back to a Doppler radar indicated rotation coming out of Sebastian, soon going to be moving into Franklin County, and that's going to be for right now some strong rotation passing just towards the north of Charleston, or soon will be. Right now it's probably towards the northwest of Charleston. Here's going to be some damaging straight line winds. Not seeing anything as pronounced of a hook echo or anything of that nature right now. Not that that's what it takes to get rotation, but sometimes it can be a telltale sign as to where it would be. When you look into the velocities, there's a little bit of a kink right there, a little bit of a squiggly line. That's probably going to be where the rotation is right now. Coming closer and closer to Charleston, just to the north side of town. We'll need to watch that very, very closely. Of course, Ursula right now is probably where that rotation is. Vesta along Highway 215, 217 is going to be exactly where that is, passing between Lavaca, Vesta, Ursula right now. It's broad. That's why I'm calling out all those communities. Big spin in the atmosphere right there. Okay, big reset here. Very volatile situation continues. We have very intense thunderstorms that have produced, at least this point, multiple tornadoes. Dare I say numerous tornadoes. In Benton and Washington County, your immediate threat is off towards the east. Still need to watch for the potential of some off towards the west moving in later this evening. Right now, the 2 concerns, radar indicated, Doppler radar indicated debris signatures being detected in Madison County moving up towards Carroll. Strong thunderstorm, likely with some intense rotation east side of Sebastian County, moving into west-southwest Franklin County over the next couple of minutes. Severe thunderstorm warnings extend into LaFleur in southern Sebastian County. This for intense, damaging straight-line winds. Very intense thunderstorm right now, Crawford County. It's severe in the sense that it's got some damaging straight-line winds. I think there's some flooding happening around the area as well. Water rescues ongoing right now in downtown Fort Smith. So we've got all facets of severe weather happening simultaneously right now, from tornadoes on the ground to water rescues happening. Very intense situation. This is a high impact weather day, and I'm afraid it panned out, unfortunately, just exactly as we feared, and it's not over yet. Our tornado watch continues until 2 a.m. At that point, we're going to continue to expect some additional rotation. That's what's happening right now, getting ready to move out of Sebastian County into Franklin County, a very small sliver of extreme southern Crawford County, technically included in this warning. This is going to be over near Frog Bayou there, place I like to duck hunt actually, right in that general vicinity right there. That's also included. Rotation looks to be just off towards the south, and that is closing in on the Franklin County line north of Charleston, south of Mulberry. Mulberry, maybe parts of town kind of split in that warning. I would assume that you are included in that warning. If I were you, it doesn't matter if you are or not. I think a safe bet to do is to include yourself in that potential. Right now, we go back into northwest Arkansas, into Huntsville. This one remains confirmed. This one is reason it's kind of purple in there, kind of tough to see from the rain. This is a confirmed tornado warning. Observed debris signatures have been noted. Kind of tough to see. It's messy. We're getting pretty far away from the radar site there, and because of that, sometimes it can be really tough for the radar to really depict what's actually happening up there. It's going to be really difficult to see in that general vicinity that is moving into Carroll County likely right now. at which point that rotation very well could continue to be organized. That is what the Weather Service out of Tulsa telling us right now, rotation on the Madison Carroll County line that is going to be closing in on Green Forest with time. These storms have been moving, some of them in fact have been moving very fast. One of them moving out of Fayetteville was up to 90 miles per hour at one point. That is a really rapidly moving tornado. Likely was on the ground when it did that as well. If you're just now, well, you're not just now joining us, a couple of things to note. We have crews scattered all across the area where I've been able to safely send them. They're mobilizing right now. We're seeing numerous reports of damage in the path of these tornadoes. We will continue to work to bring you the information on that as soon as I'm done tracking these storms. I've got more people to keep safe. Once I'm able to pass the baton back to the newsroom, then we'll start to digest what has just happened. In the meantime, the threat continues. Our job is to stay here, and we'll do just that. I will say this. Let me pop my number here up at the station. If you have reports, the newsroom can see these. I can see these, and I can see these in real time. My number on your television right now, 479-785-5000. That comes directly to us here at the station, comes to all of our cell phones, and that is going to be what you can use to get a hold of us. Let us know if you can safely report to us any damage, what you've seen, what you haven't seen, things of that nature. Observed tornado continues moving out of Madison County back over into Carroll County. That's pretty much right there on the Carroll-Madison County line. Intense lightning, intense thunder continuing for a lot of folks right there, as that storm remains very, very, very healthy. We go back into our other tornado warning coming out of the river valley. In the river valley, this one is moving very slow. In fact, it would almost indicate to me that it hasn't really moved much at all over at least the last couple of scans. I'm curious what that means in terms of intensity. Very strong thunderstorm, Mountainburg, Alma, Mulberry as well. That one is very intense in the sense that it's got some damaging straight line winds up to 60 or so miles per hour. A lot of winds, a lot of hail, and now we're seeing some flooding concerns, potentially some flooding rescues now underway in downtown Fort Smith. Unfortunately, that's just an area that is often dealing with some flooding concerns, and I don't think that's necessarily going to be changing with more additional rain on the backside of this system. So a very volatile situation. We've had one threat, we've had a tornado come through, and now we'll probably have some flooding concerns for us as well. I do actually see potentially a little bit of debris right there moving through the Vesta community up towards Cecil. Very weak rotation at this point, so I'm not quite sure if that's just bad data or maybe it's just enough, but there is some weak rotation moving through Vesta, out of Ursula, north of Bloomer, north of Charleston. That's going to be closing in on Cecil next, right there along Highway 96, north of Peter Pender, Etna also included in the path of this rotation. That will be tracking up across the Arkansas River. We've got that camera there at Arkansas Valley Electric. It's pointed, Joshua, if you could you point it off towards the south, which will be just to the right. Look at straight across the Arkansas River. That would be a good place for it. Perhaps a little bit of rotation now coming up there just to the north of 22, north of Charleston. That's going to be, excuse me, well north of 22, just coming in on the Vesta community. Don't see much in the way of organized hooks or kinks or eddies, anything of that nature with that regard right there. The rotation looks slightly weaker. Pinging the Weather Service to get an idea of what that looks like east of Lavaca. I'll tell you, it's not as strong as it was. Still very well as strong, but it's certainly not as bad as it was earlier. There is a little pocket of rotation. I can see that little pixel right there. Let's go back into northwest Arkansas. Let's get a hold of this Madison County cell as it crosses over into it crosses over into Carroll County. This one now no longer confirmed. This one is going to be just radar indicated at this point. Radar no longer seeing debris in the atmosphere. That's not to say there's not some. We're pretty far away from the radar, and unfortunately that can, in fact, be an issue once we get into those higher elevations. When we look at the actual velocity signatures, there is some strong rotation still there. In fact, I would dare to say that's actually a little bit higher than it was a few minutes ago, right here, right there, west of Osage, right there along Highway 21, north of Purdy. I'm not the best artist. My lines have been pretty terrible today. Rotation continues there. Looking at the rotation back into LaFleur, None. It's a strong thunderstorm, damaging winds. New flood warning now popping up for Crawford and Sebastian counties. Flash flood is happening right now, especially in those low-lying areas often prone to flooding. Water rescues being conducted by local emergency authorities there. That just entered the newsroom a couple of minutes ago. The threat continues for the potential of a tornado now moving into West Franklin County. It's moving out of Sebastian. Rotation is relatively weaker than it was, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to continue to try to produce something at some point. Mansfield PD reporting some rotation again northeast of that city.
We've got the Ozark camera, but it looks like it is struggling. Looks like the power is kind of in and out there.
Oh, I see. How ironic. Incredible folks there at Arkansas Valley Electric. If you could point it to the left a little bit, more towards, no, other way, a click or two, back off towards, yep, keep going that direction. A little bit more. Okay. Yeah, if we could take the Ozark camera up real quick. Okay, keep going a little bit more. There's Manitou Mountain. There's the bend in the Arkansas River back up towards the west. If we could keep going. Yeah, it is struggling with the connection there. Understand, given the intensity of that storm moving through, it totally makes sense. Okay, that'll do. Let's leave it there. I'll keep an eye on it off air. Let's go back to live Doppler radar. This warning specifically, Danny, when was this Franklin Sebastian warning set to expire?
Let's see. I think this was set to expire at about 8:30. Let me confirm that. 8:30. Yep.
Okay, so got a few more minutes to go. This is the longest duration in which there's not been intense rotation. I'm not sure I'm ready to believe that just yet, as much as I'm hopeful for that. But it right now continues to be radar indicated. A very strong thunderstorm, likely capable of some damaging winds minimally, coming into western Franklin County from Mulberry all the way down to Charleston. Rotation is just really weak, if anything at all, right now. A little bit of a kink just to the north of Charleston, just to the north of Charleston there, northwest of Clarksville, west of 41, right along 217. That's not very strong, though. That's not something that honestly would probably even catch my eye on any normal day. But that nonetheless potentially could develop back into something very quickly. We've seen that happen a lot tonight, and that's why I'm not ready to let our guard down in Sebastian or Franklin just yet. The threat is passing out of Sebastian. You can see that warning does include still portions of you. That will likely either be trimmed or allowed to expire at the appropriate time there, closer to 8:30. Our tornado warning in Madison County is almost entirely out of the Madison County area. If you're in Huntsville, we believe we just had a tornado move through, multiple in Madison County. The threat has now passed, although raining continues. It's heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and probably some very intense winds, more than likely moving into the area as well. That is going to continue tracking over into Carroll County. Right now, that warning set to expire at 8:30. Radar indicates rotation continues. When we look at the rotation tracker ourselves, I can see that rotation right there. It's not the strongest. It's looking from the Springfield radar, so when we kind of bump down just a little bit, we'll nudge the Fort Smith. It's looking kind of broad there as well, not near as pronounced as it was, moving towards Osage, but the rotation there in Madison County has moved out of Madison into Crawford County. That's some good news for us, at least as of the moment. Yeah, let's take this. This is going to be some video that we got on our earlier. This is going to be from our Mercy Hospital camera there in Fort Smith that sits along Rogers Avenue. This was recorded earlier. This was the likely tornado coming through south side of town, not far from the airport, right there on the Doppler radar site. This is what that looked like. Again, this is not live. And you kind of saw there, those are the power flashes. Those power flashes tell us the tornado was likely on the ground. Soon thereafter, we saw debris lofted into the atmosphere. Remarkably, somehow the radar is still online. We didn't lose it. I was really, really horrified we might. The tornado likely passed right on top of the Doppler radar site earlier, and that was a live look of that. Let's go back to live radar right now. Thank you for racking that up. We'll continue our coverage here as these two tornado warnings continue to move through the area. Let's do this. Current watches include a tornado watch for the entire 5 News viewing area. Madison County, you've been canceled from your tornado warning. It continues for Carroll. That's an update to pass along to you. This runs until 2 o'clock. On top of that, we're also going to see the potential some flooding. That's happening right now, especially as these storms slow down. That's going to continue to be a concern for us. As these storms slow down, they're going to dump a lot of water. There's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. It's very muggy today. That was part of the reason why this severe weather setup was as intense as it was. New tornado warning for Boone County off towards the east there as that rotation continues to circulate out of Carroll County moving over into Boone. Right now, our focus will remain here on this cell moving out of Sebastian into Franklin County. Continues to be tornado warned for the next 10 minutes. We go back and look at our wind velocities. Is there any rotation? There is. It's weak at the moment. Emphasize that at the moment. This is now going to be just to the north of Charleston, right here, coming into east of Vesta, coming into the Peter Pender community. Weak rotation right now continues to be right in this general vicinity. I do not think a tornado is in progress as of right now. This is going to be moving closer and closer to Meg, Cecil, eventually up towards over towards Etna, Webb City, eventually, and that warning has been allowed to expire. Weather Service has expired that warning right there. Current time, 8:21. We're going to see that fall off for us in Franklin County. I think I'm reading this correctly, right? Expires the tornado warning. Yep. Okay. So zoom back out, give it a second. That tornado warning is likely going to fall off the map. Weather Service has just told us they're working on canceling it. Carroll County continues to be under a tornado warning. Severe thunderstorm warnings will continue for Franklin, Sebastian, LaFleur counties. Damaging straight line winds continue to work their way into the area. Let me loop this for the last hour. Let's get an idea of kind of what's happened with time. It's been a very intense afternoon, multiple tornadoes across the area. Confirmed tornadoes. Saw one of them move through south side of Fort Smith earlier on our camera. We're not done. Johnson, Logan, Scott County, you've got a very intense line of thunderstorms moving your direction. Right now, the most likely concerns are going to be damaging straight line winds, could even be some hail. We've seen some large hail in LaFleur County earlier today. At times, there could be areas of rotation spin up along that cell and along that leading edge. And so our watch continues until 2 a.m. for that reason. The tornado potential is not over. We are entering into a bit of a lull in the activity. My hope is that it's more than just a lull. My hope is that it's an end, but we've not seen a lot of activity here in these three counties, which indicates to us that the likelihood of some additional severe weather is certainly there. Okay, let's do this. I'm wanting to see this fall off, and then we're going to go do that. We will continue with that. We're going to take a look at some of your photos here in just a couple minutes. I'm going to just stick here while we've got this warning. I thought, folks, maybe I read it wrong. I'm looking for some help over here. Did they say they were going to expire this?
Yeah, they'll let it expire. So what it'll do is it'll be on the map until 8:30, and
Okay.
then once 8:30 hits, it'll fall off.
Okay, well, I was wanting to see it fall off right now. Not soon enough for me. So I got about 7 more minutes to go for this warning. There's a little kink right there. It wouldn't be enough in of itself to issue a warning. That's the good news. But little kink, and given the parameters that are in place today, certainly indicates to me that we may not entirely be done. I want to watch it closely. In fact, there's a little feature right there, Southern Franklin. We get into LaFleur, very strong winds likely moving into the area. These are going to be damaging straight line winds. Yeah, sure enough. Goodness gracious, coming into the Poteau area, 60 to 70 more than likely right now. You can kind of look at some of these winds, these blue pixels here. This is going to be just to the west of Poteau, near McCurtain. These are straight line winds, can often do just as much damage as a weak tornado. Let's be mindful of that. Just because you're not under a warning right now, a tornado warning, doesn't mean you might not have some intense winds producing some damage. That's a real possibility. That's why your severe thunderstorm warning will continue for LaFleur County, most of LaFleur, not everybody, but most. I give it time, and you probably will be. We'll work our way up and down this line. Let's look for some little areas of rotation. Sometimes we can see those begin to develop before they get too intense and a warning is issued.
A little bit of rotation starting to spin up north of Peter Pender.
I knew it. I saw that stinking kink and I thought to myself, there it is. Okay, thank you, Danny. Yep, there it is. You can see it. Peter Pender to Cecil, Meg, take shelter now. You're still included in a warning. Rotation's coming back up. They'll probably have to issue a new one if that continues to. Weak circulation, but it's coming up. Okay, let's take a look at the Ozark camera. We probably have a good view into that. Okay, I'm not sure which, I'm kind of getting my bearings. That's to the west, so we need to be looking towards the south for this one. So you're in the, okay, right there, perfect. Let's leave it there. Leave the Ozark camera right there. That's going to allow us to see if we are able to see anything at all from that one. I'm not sure we'll be able to. We're losing light. It's a lot of rain. I'm afraid that's probably going to prohibit us from seeing them. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Weak rotation now developing near Peter Pender. It's weak, but a warning continues. Warning means we need to take shelter. Warning means we need to do all the things we teach the kids to do. Take shelter right now. That weak rotation moving north towards Mantooth Road, Pine Hollow Road, Oak Bend Road, County Road 48, County Road 418. That weak rotation may try to spin up into something. My hope is that it doesn't, but we've kind of seen this play out a few different times today in which these storms will weaken and they will then pulse back up. That would eventually track over towards, let's say, between Ozark and Altus on its current trajectory. We're familiar with how those tornadoes take that path, aren't we? I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but we know that these storms often take a path that looks like that. We've seen it about 9 years ago. Back into the velocity here. I didn't want to leave my dogs at home today, and they just poked into the studio. It's a sight for sore eyes. Could use that. Thank you for that little dopamine rush there. Cecil to Peter Pender, weak area of rotation. Things are getting a little bit quieter here. That warning is going to be allowed to expire. Weather Service is telling us, yeah, there's some weak rotation, but they're still going to let it expire at 8:30. So while I was concerned about that, I still am concerned about that. At least as of this moment, it's not enough to continue that warning. That's some good news for us. Got a ways to go. Let's do this. I'm curious if, Danny, task for you, if you could you work through some of the cams, maybe the HER, kind of get an idea of what may be tracking later this evening,
Sure.
if there is a potential second round or not. There was a big question in regards to whether or not that was going to happen. Let's work on that. Tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire at 8:30. That's going to be for Sebastian and Franklin. That cell likely did produce a tornado. We saw it happen on live television, I'm afraid. It got debris in the air, moved right towards the radar site there near the Fort Smith Airport. It did weaken as it moved closer and closer to Franklin County, likely Central City, Lavaca, more than likely just endured a tornado, moved over Fort Chaffee there as well. And when it comes to warnings, we do have several. There's a lot going on here. There's a kaleidoscope of colors. Yellows are tornado watch. Orange means severe thunderstorm is happening right now. Eastern Benton, Eastern Washington, Carroll, Madison, all of Franklin, good chunk of Crawford, all of Sebastian, good chunk of LaFleur counties included under these severe thunderstorm warnings. Those severe thunderstorm warnings right now mean that damaging winds are ongoing or could be pressing at any time, 60 to 70 miles per hour. We've also seen some large hail earlier this afternoon or this evening there in LaFleur County, especially near Worcester. I saw some very large hail. Right now, when we kind of look at our hail tracker, not really seeing a whole lot, maybe a little bit now moving. Let's do this. Let's work our way up and down, kind of looking into some of those hail cores right there. There's probably some falling right now in Mulberry. It is probably around the size of quarters in Mulberry right now. That's going to extend back off towards the south as well. That's where the radar would indicate that that hail core is falling. That's tracking east over towards Waterloo and Ozark, eventually Altus as well. Lavaca may be seeing some small hail at the moment. We can zoom out a little bit and then we'll come back in tighter into LaFleur County. I think I see some hail there as well. This is going to be for that southern flank of that cell now moving into the area. So Poto, you're probably going to see some storms produce high winds. That's happening right now. It's also could have some pockets of some hail that's now clearing Fanshawe. That's going to be tracking over toward Worcester, as if you guys want any more hail. I know you don't. I'm sure you're sick of it, and I totally understand it. That's going to be a real concern for us. In addition to the damaging straight line winds, the potential for some additional flooding is going to concern. One of the things that I've noticed through all of the stuff that we've endured today is that these storms are slowing down rapidly. These storms are not moving near as fast as they once were. And then unfortunately, okay, brand new tornado warning. Dang it, I see it. I saw that stinking hook right there. New tornado warning for Franklin coming out. If you're in Franklin County, new tornado warning. This is rotating really quickly once more. That hook has developed right there. Rotation is going to be right here. Weather Service is drawing up a new tornado warning. It will be hitting your phones. It'll be hitting our maps real soon. It's right on top of the Meg community. It is tracking towards Altus. It'll move up towards, it's going to pass Highway 23. It's going to cross between Ozark and Altus. If you're in Ozark and Altus, get ready. Warning coming out. Seek shelter right now. If you live anywhere along Highway 23 between Etna and Ozark, from Ozark to Altus along 64, Alex as well, seek shelter immediately. You have a new tornado warning likely coming out. Velocities are showing those rotation signals are picking back up. Rotation is going to be right on top of the Meg community right now. There's your new tornado warning showing up on the map. That tornado warning, as radar indicated, as rotation has consistently been picking back up over the last couple of scans. It was trying to die out, and just as we kind of talked about, these cells have a history of doing that. It's just unfortunately, it's never a safe bet. Just because they're weakening for a little bit, that doesn't mean that they might not pulse back up. Alex, Denning, also included in this new tornado warning. This is going to run for the next 29 minutes until 9 o'clock, the top of the hour. If you live along Highway 309 outside of Ozark, if you live anywhere between Ozark and let's say Roseville along 309, this rotation is going to be tracking over next to you, out there where the Hillards live. If you folks are there watching, you need to take shelter right now. Meg community is where that rotation is. It's going to be passing right there in this general vicinity, Oak Bend Road, Deer Track Trail. That's where the rotation is at the moment. It's spinning up, trying to get a little bit tighter near Meg. It's going to be passing Highway 23 just to the south of 96, more than likely. That intersection of 96 and 23 right there by the church. It's probably right outside of the Webb City. There's the water office right there. I think there's Dollar General over there. That rotation is going to be tracking right there, Pilot Grove Road, and next in line. Eventually a crossover there on 309. This probably crosses the river not far from the lock and dam.
It's kind of hard to tell. It looks like maybe there could be a debris signature, but I can't tell if that's interference or not. It's just barely co-located, but that may be something we need to watch. And that is to the south and east of Cecil, and I believe that is just to the west of Highway 23.
Okay, Weather Service is also seeing this. It does look like a debris signature, but they're going to give it one more scan before saying that it is. They think that it could be just some poor radar returns. That's my prayer. Let's give it one more scan, see what comes in there. Crossing Highway 23. I'll tell you, the rotations, to me, I can't see a tornado coming from that. I have a hard time believing that would be that, but we'll see what the next scan says. Sometimes these things can happen quickly between scans. It's there. It's persistent rotation.
Lots of lightning on the Ozark camera. Watching to see if we can see any sort of power flashes or anything. It's
Probably
looking in
not
that
going to be
general
able
direction.
to. Yeah. No, probably not going to be able to. I don't think. Let's go back to debris. I don't know. That's making me really nervous. I'm not a fan of that. We need a new data scan to come in real quick. If there is something, Deer Track Trail, Pilot Grove Loop, coming in on Highway 309. Rotation is not as pronounced as you would expect it to be, and that's why I'm kind of questioning this a little bit. That does look like a debris signature, but a debris signature of that nature would generally require a significantly more pronounced area of rotation, and that's just not what I'm seeing right there. That's not to say there's not one, but my goodness, let's see, look at it a little bit differently. It's not the strongest area of rotation. Given how intense things have been today, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised necessarily, but I am a bit skeptical of the data.
It's almost looking like it could just be the gust front with that last scan, because now it's no longer just a donut hole. We're starting to see just a large line with that negative CC value. So
Okay.
Hopefully that is the case and it's not a confirmed tornado.
Okay, I'll tell you, I'm skeptical of it based off of a lot of things. Velocity specifically, the rotation is not necessarily as what I would have expected it to be. There is a hook echo, so I think the situation here is a tornado very well could be imminent. I don't think a tornado is ongoing, at least as of right now. I think that's the concern that we've got. At any rate, if you're in Ozark, Altus, you need to be, Alex and Denning as well, Greenwood community there, you need to go ahead and seek your tornado safety precautions. Right now, we have a hook echo, likely some rotation crossing Highway 23. Soon it's going to cross 309. It's going to cross the Arkansas River, not far from the lock and dam right there. And then once that crosses the river, it's going to be moving over towards the Altus community. Whitaker Village would be next in line, somewhere there along Highway 64. Looks like this impacts very well could be the east side of Ozark right there. We can spin that camera around a little bit further off towards the west if we need to out of Ozark, and that may show us something. It's dark, it's going to be tough to. I'm looking at it. A lot of lightning though, a lot of rain, probably going to be tough to see into that. In fact, actually, there's no way we would see anything. We'd have to be piercing through that rain, and that's just not going to happen, so no worries. No worries there. Go back into our velocity. Looking at the winds. Intense winds likely coming out of this. In addition to the potential of some rotation, southern Franklin County, right now this is our only tornado warning at the moment. Our only tornado warning out of several that have produced confirmed tornadoes throughout the course of the day. This is going to be where we have an issue, right on top of Highway 23 and 309, south of Ozark. Most of Ozark may end up being fine here. This is more than likely going to be a Webb City issue for us right here. Deer Track Trail, Sweetwater Lane, here's Rich Lane, here's Highway 309, here's County Road, is that 542? Yeah, 542. And we're closing in on the Arkansas River right now with that area of rotation. Area of rotation right now, back this up just a little bit, crossing the Arkansas River, would take it over into the Altus Denning community. Probably right between Altus and Ozark, closer to Altus than Ozark is where that rotation would be. It's weak. Let's hope it stays that way. It's weak rotation at the moment.
And just a quick heads up, no tornado warnings or anything like that, but I'm watching a new area of rotation that's located near Whitesboro in LaFleur County.
Okay.
It's not impressive right now, but starting to see the last couple scans, it's a little bit more noticeable, so that'll be something else we need to watch.
Okay. Still seeing that hook right there. It's not as pronounced as it was. That rotation kind of tried to spin up. New warning was issued. It's weaker now than it was even when they issued the warning. So I don't trust it for a lot of reasons right now, but I think I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful this trend continues. You guys up in the booth have something for me? Let's do this. Michael, if you're up there, or Danny, if we want to take a look at some viewer photos, you can cue those up. This rotation is as weak as it is. For the folks in Franklin County, I'm feeling a little bit better about you right now. We're trimming that warning up a little bit. They're just kind of maintaining it. Weak rotation, crossing the Arkansas River over towards Altus. It's very weak right now. I don't think a tornado is imminent. We'll be back to live radar in just a couple seconds. Let's take a look at some of these photos that come in. We're just going to do this for a couple of seconds. This was in Prairie Grove. Thank you for sending that in. This is going to be some flooding near Flat Rock and Van Buren. Probably going to be a lot of that. Water rescues were taking place. This is from Josh Childers. This is from the ACHE camera right there. Well, from the ACHE building where we have a camera, I should say. Okay, back to live radar. Okay, unless that's going to work. Nope, this is fine. I'll stay here. I don't see that rotation there, guys. I really don't. I think it's weakened. I think that his rotation is weakened as it crossed the Arkansas River. We're not seeing any of that signal right there at all. So folks in Altus, I want you to stay put. Folks in Ozark and Webb City, I want you to stay put for a couple more minutes. Whitaker Village as well. That rotation to me is much weaker than it has been in several scans. So I think we're trending in a little bit more favorable direction right now. I don't necessarily think we're done with rotation this afternoon or this evening. What time is it? Yeah, it's late. Okay.
Right around 8:39.
Okay. Rain continues northwest Arkansas. We have new flash flood warnings for LaFleur County, parts of Sebastian County as well. Very intense thunderstorm, and it's moving really slowly. It's dumping a lot of rain. Flash flooding is going to be a concern. Water rescues have been reported to us earlier near downtown Fort Smith, elsewhere as well. I do see that hook down there, Joshua. I'm assuming this is the one that you were talking to me about. That's going to be a problem for us, and that is going to be moving towards the east, northeast. Right now, that's going to be just to the southwest of Heavener. Is that the one you were looking at?
Yeah, that's the one, and then still seeing some normalized rotation. It's not significant right now, but that hook is pretty concerning given the environment that this one will be traveling into here momentarily.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's watch that in Heavener. Folks, in Heavener, you're currently under a severe thunderstorm warning for the potential of 60 to 70 mile per hour straight line winds, perhaps some hail moving through as well. There is some rotation developing to the west of 270. It's easier to dictate and pinpoint when you just look at the radar alone. That's that concerning classic hook echo signature right there. Much more pronounced. Rotation's really weak at the moment, south of Worcester, but it is rotation nonetheless, and that would be tracking off towards the east-northeast. So we want to watch that very closely. Josh was going to keep an eye on that. It's going to be very, very concerning right there. I'm afraid that one may try to cause us some problems eventually. There's not been a whole lot of activity move through that part of the area just yet, and that's going to be a problem for somebody. I'm hoping we can avoid that here in our neck of the woods. Tornado warning continues for south and eastern Franklin County. New severe thunderstorm warning for Johnson and Logan there as well. The potential of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds coming out of the leading edge of the storm. Likely some hail with it as well, and pockets of hail. Not as big as what we saw yesterday, but some insult to injury nonetheless. All of Johnson, good chunk of Logan County now under a severe thunderstorm warning. For the leading edge of this line that's producing some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Shoal Creek, Subiaco, Paris, Roseville, also included in this. Hartman, Coal Hill, Clarksville, Lamar, as well as Knoxville, included in this new severe thunderstorm warning. We go back to rotation. What's it doing there near Altus? It's not rotating. This warning was set to expire at 9, I believe, and I'll tell you, I just don't think it's rotating. I think they're probably going to let it expire, or they'll cancel it early before that actually happens. There's no rotation happening right now in Franklin County. This is where it would be, and there's none happening. Let's look at what it looks like on radar, though. Is there any kind of appendage or hook? I'm not seeing anything right there. I want you to stay put if you're in this warning in Altus and Alex and Denning. I want you to stay put for a couple more minutes. I don't trust it just yet. We've seen what it's happened, what it's done over the last few minutes. When it pulses up and pulses down, it weakens, and then it produces a tornado again. So let's be very, very careful with regards to just how soon we get out of the shelter. I want to stay put there for a couple more minutes. If we want to try some of those videos and photos again, we've got a couple of seconds we can do that. I'll let you guys dictate that up in the booth if we want to try that.
I'll just add, Scott, I was looking at some of the cams, those convective allowing models that we look at, some that you see, Scott show or Joshua show. Right now, it looks like there are a couple of models that do have some of that redevelopment. The dry line is just over Oklahoma City. And I know it's nighttime, the cap's settling in, but that dry line can really initiate. The good news is right now we're not seeing any initiation west of this line. The ensembles are trending downward with that, but there are still some cams that are showing some things.
Okay.
We'll have to watch after 10 p.m. That's kind of the time frame. It looks like 10 p.m. to midnight. If you don't see anything in that time frame, we should be good to go for the night.
Okay, so 5 new storm chaser here along 255 in Barling. Flooded roadways right there. Not found the damage yet. Let's continue investigating that. We've got some other crews out there investigating other damage as well. Where do we want to go next from here? We can go back to radar if we need to. Yes, I'd like to take a look at some of the viewer photos that have been submitted. We've had numerous reports of damage across the area. I've withheld kind of going through some of those reports just so we can keep folks abreast that we're in the path of these tornado warnings. Those have since passed off towards the east or weakened. This is in Gentry, some flooding there. Okay, let's continue. That was in Prairie Grove, so we looked at this one. Some damage here in Fayetteville. Tree damage, lots of tree litter, right? Leaf litter, I should say. Covert Corner south of Altus, that's the family farm. Thanks for sending that. Panama, this is going to be near the football field, some flooding. Okay, I'm done with that. Let's go back to live radar. I don't see any rotation in it, folks. That warning's going to probably just have to run itself out at this point. I think the Weather Service doesn't have much of an option, but there's no rotation happening currently in Franklin County. Our job requires us, and it's my personal own policy, we're going to continue our coverage as long as there's any warning in effect. And right now, as long as that warning's in effect, no matter how weak it may be, we stay here and we track storms. So if we need to get you back to regular programming at some point, that's my hope we can do that. I'm afraid, though, that we're likely going to be in weather coverage for quite some time, given the fact that this storm system continues producing severe winds, large hail, moving into Johnson, Logan counties, Sebastian County, you're still included in a very severe thunderstorm warning. Your flooding concerns are exasperating right now. You were flooding earlier. Now we're adding in a very slow-moving additional heavy downpour moving through Fort Smith, Bacola, Cowington, Poteau, Mansfield. This storm not only producing a lot of rain, your flooding concerns are going to be increasing with time, but you're more than likely going to see some very windy winds out there, up to 60 mile per hour, near frequent lightning and thunder. We go back into our Heavener and Worcester cell. There is still continuing to be a hook echo right there. When we look at the rotation, there's still some very weak rotation near Heavener. It's not organized enough in which you would expect any type of tornado to develop, but it is some rotation, so we want to track that for you very closely. That rotation is going to be moving very close to Heavener in LaFleur County right now. Take a look at the hail. There have been some hailstones falling out of the cell as well. This is to the west of Heavener. In fact, I would dare say that that's some larger hail happening right there. $half size potentially coming into the Heavener community. And unfortunately, okay, let's see, it's just moved off a little bit. Maybe it's just come down just a bit. Yep, great, the quarter size. New update takes it down to quarter size. So quarter to $half size hail closing in on Heavener. Some of that may very well work its way up into the Poteau community. So in addition to the damaging straight line winds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour, we probably have some large hail falling out of these cells in LaFleur County right now. We take a look at some winds just to the west of Heavener, 66 miles per hour, straight line winds near 70. There's near 50 south of Heavener. Coming into Poteau, we're looking at 30 to 40. Outside of town, closer up to 50 or so miles per hour. So an intense situation continues there. When it comes to the rain, you're also seeing some flooding concerns across portions of Sequoia and LaFleur counties, Sebastian there as well. Those darker maroon polygons, those are going to be flood warnings that are ongoing right now. This system has really kind of pumped the brakes. It's slowing down quite a bit, which means the rain is going to continue to cause some increased flooding concerns, likely into the river valley over the next several minutes to hours. Rainfall continues. Washington, Benton County, a lot of lightning there as well. Nothing severe in northwest Arkansas as of this moment, with the exception of the lead. Well, I shouldn't say that. That was wrong. Madison County is included in a severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado warnings ongoing in northwest Arkansas at the moment. We go back into Franklin County, where one is probably just running the clock out. There's no reason to be concerned at this moment. There's not any rotation happening at all there in Franklin County, despite the fact that warning technically continues. It's probably just a technicality. Weather Service probably just doesn't have a lot of options. Once it gets close to a certain time frame, they have no choice other than to just keep it. Looks like they just canceled it, so maybe they just canceled it. Goodness gracious. Okay, so folks up in the booth, with that said, we can continue tracking these severe thunderstorms. We need to be doing that. If we need to work in a little bit of news coverage of damage, if we have field crews that we want to check in with, if we have Darren in place, I think we do, we can do that. And if a tornado warning comes back, we'll be right back here there. We'll keep tracking these severe thunderstorms and these flooding concerns as well. Going to get a drink of water, cough drop, and we'll come back when a tornado warning is issued.
Got some coffee in there too if you want some as well. All right, we do have some damage reports coming in to the newsroom. In Washington County Emergency Management reporting some structure damage in Greenland. They didn't say what that was just yet. Travis Cooper with Sebastian County Emergency Management says no injuries reported. He is heading to the south part of the county to check there as far as damage is concerned. Tad Sowers with Washington County reporting damage in Greenland, in West Fork, in South Fayetteville, and also in Lincoln. He is saying that the reports of damage also around Baum-Walker Stadium. Of course, that's where the baseball team plays. He is going to get with the judge to determine what happens next and what surveying will take place between now and, say, midnight tonight. Fort Smith, you heard Scott say, I've checked with Fort Smith Police. The police chief there, Danny Baker, he is at least telling us he has not heard of any major damage just yet. Now, we did see that one storm, what appeared to be a tornado on our Mercy iCam about an hour or so ago, moving through the south part of Fort Smith into Barling, into the Lavaca area. So far, no reports of any major damage, although with the heavy rainfall and with what happens in downtown Fort Smith a lot, with the flooding that happens in downtown Fort Smith, there have been some water rescues happening in downtown Fort Smith. We don't know to what extent. or if there's any injuries involved with that. We do have reporters who are heading out. Lauren Spencer is going to be heading toward Barling. We saw that a moment ago on our Storm Chaser heading toward Barling. We have Parker Abels heading to Lincoln and Parker is? Okay, Parker Abels is live. Tell us, Parker, where you are and what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, I'm in Lincoln right now, and it was described to me as a workshop shed. It was made completely out of metal, and it's basically everywhere right now. We have some in the power lines. We have some all over the fences. Cars are trying to pass here. Let me step out of the way. Let's see if we can kind of zoom in a little bit. I mean, there's metal sheds everywhere around here. There's a power line that's tilting. I don't imagine that there's going to be any power around here for the foreseeable future. I mean, it was described. I talked to some neighbors around here. They said that they were taking shelter, but they came out and they saw it all, and they were a little too shaken up to speak to us right now. They told us they wanted to respect the owner's privacy as of now, so we're not going to be able to talk to them. But yeah, it's basically metals all around here, and I think they said it was 3. There's 2 sheds to my right and 1 to my left that's completely destroyed, guys. So that's all I got. Darren, back to you.
All right, Parker, tell us real quick, flooding in that area. What do the roads look like right now?
As of right now, the roads aren't too terribly bad. There's a little puddles here and there. Our way here, we almost actually hydroplaned a little bit, so I won't say it's great, but I think it's drivable for the most part. But if you're in a smaller car, I would recommend staying inside until the drainage goes down.
All right, Parker, and speaking of flooding, I'm getting some of my friends who live in the River Valley saying now that Towson Avenue is flooded in some parts. That is pretty typical, especially in some of those low-lying areas of Towson Avenue, along with Wheeler Avenue, part of Phoenix Avenue also as well too. Now this is in Fort Smith. I'm not sure where this is in Fort Smith, but suffice it to say, that's not supposed to be happening right now. And that is with a lot of rainfall that has taken place from the time this system moved into Fort Smith, and that heavy rainfall even continues now. It's going to cause any kind of drainage system. Mill Creek it will probably be flooded as well. There's a creek that runs along Wheeler Avenue that goes into downtown. That probably is going to be a very high level of water rushing through it right now, and that may be what we're looking at right there. And that, I'm assuming, is I'm not sure where that's from. Oh, some more. So, all right, some more flooding in Fort Smith. This is the old Weddington store and Highway 16 there. Some more flooding in, all right, so Webb City. We're just rotating through this. I can tell you, though, from Washington County Judge Patrick Deakins, no injuries reported so far, confirmed by the county with Fayetteville Police Department. They are seeing some widespread tree and power line damage throughout the county. They have reports of structure damage in Lincoln and in Goshen. They have some heavy damage on Mockingbird Lane and Cane Hill. Trees are so big that they've dispatched a crew with their biggest truck to help move them. The judge says he will be out with the Washington County Road Department just to make sure that the roads are clear and as best they can, and that there doesn't need to be a lot of clearing going on. Now, this is the image that we actually saw on our Mercy iCam about an hour and a half or so ago, as this what appears to be a tornado that went through the south part of Fort Smith. This went across the south part of Fort Smith. It went into Barling, it went into Chaffee, Fort Chaffee, and headed into Franklin County before you saw Scott and the crew tell us that the rotation had dropped off just a bit. Here's some more, some tree damage, limbs down in Fayetteville. Aiden Fitz sending this in. This is down in Altus. You can just see some of the cloud formations there. I'm assuming what this is off Chad Colley. This is out there at Chaffee Crossing near where the Arkansas Colleges of Health and Education, and that looks to me like that could be a possible funnel cloud, or at least a lowering of some kind that came through. Again, maybe the same thing that we saw in South Fort Smith as it came through South Fort Smith into the Barling area, again into Fort Chaffee and into Barling, or into Charleston. All right, so if you can safely send us your photos and your videos, you see the number there on your screen, 785-5000. If you have pictures from earlier and are now able to send them to us, please do so. Text them to us. It's 479-785-5000. This is what we're actually getting right now. This is near Greenwood, about 8 miles south of Highway 22. That's some ominous looking clouds there. Send them to us if you can. Now that it's the danger has passed, you maybe have a chance now to send those to us. Again, 479-785-5000. Lauren Spencer is in the River Valley as well in the 5 News Storm Chaser. Lauren, tell us where you are and what you've seen so far in your driving around.
Yeah, hey Darren, we are here on Highway 22 in Barling. We're driving westbound into Barling right now, and I'm going to take you outside. You can just see super low visibility, heavy rain coming down here. Just honestly a lightning show above us as well. Lights flashing and lighting up the whole sky here. But just really heavy rain. We haven't seen too much damage here in Barling. It is dark, so we're not really seeing too much just yet. Driving down the main street, didn't see any damage, but we're going to keep driving around and see if we can find anything. But as you can see, low visibility here, not seeing too many cars on the road. Definitely a heavy rainstorm here. We talked with Sebastian County Emergency Manager Travis Cooper, who did say that he was headed to Bonanza and Hackett to assess some damage, and we might head that way as well. So we're going to keep you updated here as we continue driving up around the River Valley. Back to you, Darren.
So just real quick, Lauren, as you are driving around, I know you mentioned it, not seeing a lot of trees down or any kind of damage so far?
Yeah, that's right, Darren. I will say that when we were driving down Garrison Avenue, we did see some flooding there like it normally does, but that's kind of all the weather-related things we've seen down here so far.
Okay. All right, Lauren, if you're going to head down to Hackett and the Bonanza area, let us know what you see there. That's where we saw that funnel cloud that came into South Fort Smith. That was actually south of Fort Smith, right there where Bonanza and Hackett and just north of Hartford are located. I can tell you that power outages are starting to mount up now in Washington County. 23,200 customers are without power. In Madison County, it totals more than 7,000 customers that are without power. Carroll County, about 728. Remarkably, right now in Sebastian County, only 972. Now that's the map I'm looking at as well. That's 23,200. In Sebastian County, remarkably, only 972 customers. And I say only, with what we saw about an hour and a half or so ago with that what appeared to have been a large funnel cloud, we saw a couple of power flashes. And that might be where these 972 customers are reporting no power in Sebastian County. Nothing yet in Logan County, nothing really reporting out of Franklin County or even Scott County. And for that matter, nothing really reporting out of Crawford County. You see there in Madison County, it's in red because of the high percentage of those who are without power. There are 10,000 plus customers in Madison County. You've got more than 7,000 of them that don't have power right now. Okay. In Greenland. Okay, so what we're hearing now from Jacob Luthi, he is actually in Greenland right now. And we did get some reports from Washington County about damage reported in Greenland, in West Fork, in South Fayetteville, also in Lincoln. They've got some roads blocked off, and we don't know what roads yet are being blocked off. in Greenland. Jacob Luthi is there, and we're going to try to check in with him here in just a few moments to get a live report on what's happening in Greenland. Scott is now been hydrated and gotten something to eat, I think, with the rest of his crew. So tell us what's happening now.
Yeah, so we continue to see a very strong thunderstorm moving through. There's no actual tornado warnings right now. There's no actual areas of concerning rotation at the moment. With that said, there is some very intense winds moving through the river valley right now. This thunderstorm continues. Northwest Arkansas, primarily rain at the moment. Along and south of Interstate 40, we continue to see a very intense thunderstorm capable of producing some serious winds, some lightning, some thunder, and probably even some hail at times. There have been some weak pockets of rotation. So what you're going to notice here from the National Weather Service is that they're indicating it's a little bit of a tag. It's their way of saying at times there can be a little bit of rotation, but it's not enough to prompt a tornado warning, and that's what's happening moving into portions of Johnson County right now. That's the same cell that moved through Franklin earlier. That's back building towards the south into portions of Logan County. Strong thunderstorm capable of producing some high winds, some large hail, and probably some flooding as well. Now, we have noticed a little bit of rotation here in southern Leflore County. This is going to be the southeast of Poteau, and this one specifically also not enough to be concerned with an imminent tornado potential at any, at least as of right now, but rotation nonetheless. And that's why we want to focus in on it just a little bit. This is generally going to be near Haw Creek, Hontubby right there, just to the south of that, west of Black Fork there in Scott County. This would be eventually tracking over into the Scott County community. Danny, that's going to be the Weather Service out of Little Rock. If you want to just kind of get their watch for their thoughts on that one. I think that's one that, if there is any imminent tornado potential, it would probably be this one, southeast of Heavener. Again, I don't see organized rotation right now. I just see a strong thunderstorm that does have some weaker rotation within it. Nonetheless, some damaging winds, that is a likelihood across a large sector of the river valley right now. Along in South I-40, 60 to potentially as high as 70-mile-per-hour straight-line winds. At times, there are some pockets of some hail. Very intense thunderstorm producing a lot of lightning, thus a lot of thunder. These are very loud thunderstorms. Not too concerned about the loudness of it, but the winds coming out of it and the pockets of hail embedded within this actual line, that's the concern that is most pressing to us right now. Logan and Scott County, you've not seen a lot in the way of severe weather today, but all of this orange is a broad severe thunderstorm warning from Poteau up through Fort Smith. Fort Smith yet again in that severe thunderstorm warning through Alma and Mulberry, back over towards Clarksville and Knoxville, back off towards the south through Paris and Boonville, back towards Waldron and Parks. You're included in that severe thunderstorm warning. A new one was actually just issued for Sebastian, Leflore, and Franklin counties. That severe thunderstorm warning also for the potential of 60-mile-per-hour winds. The hail likely less than an inch, which I know it doesn't sound great, but 1 inch is the threshold for the potential of a warning to be issued. We're not meeting that. So this is primarily a windstorm at this point. And you can see a lot of bright colors. You don't even have to be a meteorologist to figure this out. You see a lot of bright colors. Those are going to be higher wind velocities moving away and then sometimes towards the Doppler radar site, kind of depending on where you're at. Nonetheless, it's some very strong winds, and that's the concern. If I look at just the warnings alone, what you'll notice here, that is a very expansive severe thunderstorm warning. That includes a lot of territory. That's where the winds are likely very high right now. What is this maroon? That's going to be flood warnings. And with this system inevitably continuing to dump more and more rain as we see it slow down, that flooding concern is going to continue to increase. As the severe weather potential pushes off towards the east, it would appear that, to me, we're probably going to see a lot of flooding out of this. We've already seen water rescues in Fort Smith. I suspect we'll see additional flash flooding elsewhere, especially across the river valley, but Northwest Arkansas may very well see some of those too. So this is what it looks like on radar right now. It's very intense across all of Sebastian County. And in fact, for those that are out there assessing damage, trying to figure out what just happened, what needs need to be met, this thunderstorm's not helping response efforts out there at all. The rain in Northwest Arkansas not helping response efforts. For the folks that have damage, it's just really tragic because all their belongings very well probably getting damaged by the water. That's just the unfortunate reality of this. A couple of other things to pass along to you. This is what we're tracking in the short term. This pushes off towards the east. There's a potential of the models, about half of them are indicating there's some additional development to come later this evening back off towards the west. That's been one of the possibilities we've been looking at for the last couple of days. You look out towards Oklahoma City, and right now, yeah, there's some spotty showers here and there, nothing really to be concerned with. We've got to see what those grow into. That's where our dry line is, which is one of the forcing mechanisms behind this severe weather setup today, and that very well could be the focal point for additional rounds later this afternoon into this evening. Just to be honest with you, we don't know. Get that, a weatherman that tells you we don't know what's going to happen. I'll just tell you, we have to wait and see. We're just kind of in that mode. We got to wait and see what happens with the activity off towards the west. It's plausible the extent of all of this that we're enduring right now is really going to work over the atmosphere, so that if something does develop, yeah, there's still going to be a severe weather potential, but it's not likely to be as intense as what we've seen today. Severe perhaps, but perhaps not as intense as what we're seeing right now. We go back into the river valley. Let's do this. You all tell me when Jacob's ready, and we can go over to him. I want to keep tracking these storms in the time being. Damaging straight line winds coming into Clarksville and Parrish right now, 60 to 70 mile per hour. Very intense thunderstorm happening currently in Boonville. This is all tracking off towards the east. At times there have been some pockets of rotation, so we go back into it and we take a look at some of that. I'm not seeing rotation right now in Johnson County. That's the good news. That's that cell that moved out of Franklin earlier that at times had a couple of pockets of rotation. When it comes to Logan County, not seeing any rotation right there at all, at least as of right now. We get into Scott County. Let's work our way up and down this line. We got to look at it. Danny, Joshua, they're off there looking up and down this line consistently. So just because I'm not focusing in on it at times, we've got a team that's keeping their eyes glued to this line all up and down it, making sure nothing's trying to develop on top of us, not really seeing it. We go back into that LaFleur County rotation that I mentioned a moment ago. It's really not as impressive as it was then. There's still maybe a brief pocket right there between Page and Fogle, but I'll tell you, it's I wouldn't even call it rotation, really. I'd call it a area of organization, maybe a thunderstorm, but I wouldn't even call that rotation. So that's where we're at right now with regards to that. Well, tornado watch continues until 2 o'clock this morning. Conditions will continue to be favorable for the development of tornadoes. So we're not necessarily done, although it would seemingly appear that based off of what we've got going on right now, things are slowly but surely transitioning over into a more of a damaging wind threat. That damaging wind threat is going to continue to materialize as this cell and this complex continues to push off towards the east. With it slowing down, that potential for damage will continue, especially right now in LaFleur, Sebastian, Scott, Johnson, Logan, and portions of Franklin County. That's where we've got intense winds moving through right now, or perhaps you're in portions of Logan and Scott that are not enduring those at the moment. You likely are going to over the next several minutes. Give it time. Storm system is slowing down relatively quick, relatively so, compared to how fast it was moving earlier this afternoon. When it comes to the lightning, there is a ton of it. In fact, I think I can do something here real quick. This is going to be, we may have lost a few cameras. I think most of them are online, surprisingly. Did we lose any? I'm loading up 6 of our cameras here that we use sometimes. And you'll notice there's going to be a lot of lightning here in Poto. There's going to be at times some lightning on the Ozark camera, as you can see there. Those are the cameras in the River Valley. This is the Fort Smith camera on the hospital that we've got there along Rogers Avenue that caught that tornado on the south side of town earlier today. Remarkable video of that. In fact, I was almost like surprised that it was such a clear picture of that I thought, boy, is that something just tricking us? And sure enough, was a tornado that was right there on the Doppler radar site. Seeing some lightning there in Bentonville. Nothing severe right now, northwest Arkansas. Primarily what we're looking at for the time being is some severe winds in the River Valley. We'll see what happens back off towards the west over the next little bit. We'll be on guard through at least midnight for the potential for some additional storms. In fact, let me say 2 a.m. Let me match the Weather Service's language. 2 a.m. for that tornado watch in effect for the entire 5 News viewing area. If the threat is lessening for some counties, what they'll end up doing is canceling that watch a little bit earlier. We have Jacob yet. We can happily go to him if we need to. Okay, still getting set up. Can we go back to Darren? Is that something we can do?
Yeah, in fact, one of the very first tornadoes, Scott, that you followed gosh, 3 hours or so ago now, it seems like, came through Sequoyah County in the town of Gore, and I got a hold of the Sequoyah County Emergency Management manager there. No significant damage has been reported or observed so far. This was about 30 minutes ago. One house in Gore did have a porch come off after a tornado touchdown there near Gore. There are power outages reported. Power companies are right now working on those reports. There are areas with some flooding, and then also barricades are being placed in a couple of places in Sallisaw. And that brings up a point. If you see barricades, please don't drive around them. We're not just talking about in Sallisaw, but also in Fort Smith and well, pretty much the entire area. If they have a barricade, there's a reason that there is a barricade. It's for your protection, for your safety, so please don't drive around, because that means there's high waters on the other side of that barricade. We can also tell you that Sebastian County is experiencing some flash flooding countywide from the storm, including rotation, strong winds, lightning. This is from Travis Cooper. Among the damage reports, they said some power outages have occurred throughout the area. They're discussing with Fort Smith and with other cities. They've got 5 water rescues so far because of vehicles stalled in high water in low-lying areas that are prone to flooding. This is on Towson Avenue, and it looks like it's at Towson in Phoenix. And that is an area that normally floods. Now, when I say normally, when there's heavy rain like this is an area of town that floods. Just as it does in other parts of low-lying areas along Towson Avenue, along Wheeler, also along Phoenix, especially in downtown Fort Smith. They're on Garrison Avenue, on B Street, at 10th Street and 11th Street North, that is. There'll be a lot of flooding there as well. We do have Jacob Luthi, who is live. He was sent to Greenland because there was quite a bit of damage that we had been told. Jacob is there now. Jacob, if you can hear me, go ahead and tell us where you are in Greenland and what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, Darren, we are right across from Drake Field here in Greenland, the airport, and we're right here on Main Street. There's a lot of cars being backed up right now. There was a lot of power companies that were out here or fire trucks and power companies that were out here working, but the traffic right now, people coming through this area. What we do see right now, though, is some damage to this building. I'm not sure if Alex can show you, but this shed, I can't tell if it's a shed, I can't tell if it's a house, but definitely fallen over, and there's a power line ripped right across of it. There's also crews right behind me here working. They're power companies walking through, trying to assess the damage over here. It pretty much has been lightning and thundering here pretty much nonstop. The rain is pretty consistent, but this is what we're seeing right now. We've seen about at least 5 or 6 trucks. Farmington Police, we've also seen out here, multiple different police departments all out here trying to control traffic. Like I said, there's a lot of cars coming in and out of down this street, either trying to assess the damage, trying to check on their homes, not really sure, but there is a lot of traffic here. But right now, that's what we're seeing. Again, we're right across from Drake airfield right there, and we're right here in Greenland. But this is pretty much what we've been seeing so far. Going to try to get a little bit closer to see exactly what the damage is over there, and I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you.
Hey, real quick, Jacob, have you been able to see anything on your way into Greenland? What's it look like as far as damage is concerned there, or is this pretty much what the only damage you've seen so far?
Yeah, we had our windows down, trying to look down Main Street as we were coming from I-49, but we are coming south from I-49, but we did not see anything. This was the extent of the damage that we've seen so far. Like I said, when we got here, a lot of the fire trucks and police cars had stopped traffic, was turning traffic around. It looked like traffic has just opened right back up. They're starting to let cars through in now. Again, not really sure if they're coming to assess further damage, not really sure why they're driving through this area, but it was shut down and this road has just opened up. It was closed for a second.
Okay, all right. Jacob, thanks. Be safe out there, and we'll, if you can find some more, if you locate some more damage, please let us know. You can see a lot of heavy rain still falling in that area from our live shot there in Greenland. I can tell you that the power outage numbers are starting to go up again. In Washington County, more than 23,000 are without power. In Madison County, it's dropped below 7,000. In Franklin County, it's up near 636. In Sebastian County, it's gone from near 700 almost to 1,000 that are without power in Sebastian County. And I would assume that number is still will still increase or go up as the night progresses. Again, a lot of flooding along a lot of roads, a lot of highways, a lot of streets around the area. I'm getting messages from all these folks who work in the emergency manager's office saying, please, if we put up barricades, do not drive around them, because you will then cause a lot of other headaches for rescue, first responders, and rescue as well too. We've already seen 4 or 5 water rescues in Fort Smith. This is a car that has been that's underwater, or at least stalled there on Towson Avenue near Phoenix. That area is very prone to a lot of flooding after heavy rainfall. One piece of good news that we have gotten in from that tornado, that apparent tornado that was in South Fort Smith, just south of Fort Smith in the Bonanza area. Travis Cooper's telling us not a lot of significant damage with that one at all. Just some power outages, a lot of flooding, small power outages, some tree limbs, some trees are down throughout the area in Fort Smith and the south part of Fort Smith. He, though, is still traveling around in the southern part of Sebastian County. With that storm, the size that it was when we actually caught it on our Mercy iCam moving in South Fort Smith through Barling into Fort Chaffee and then into Franklin County. It's amazing that there was not a lot of other damage that has been reported so far. But again, it may take a while. And Scott, I know we've done this quite a while. It may take a few hours before they're able to actually go around in some of these areas that we saw this rotation, just to make sure that there isn't any major damage.
Yes, pull my mic up. Yep, there it is. Yeah, it'll take a while. And in some of those areas that we saw damage may not have been populated areas. We may, thankfully, to some extent, have had some of those in the forest and some more rural areas where the debris might have been trees and things of that nature that folks aren't venturing out to go see. So we'll see what daylight brings come tomorrow. Numerous, I've lost count. I don't know how many tornadoes were confirmed by radar at this point. Several, I think is fair to say. It's safe to say, multiple of which were probably a result of just 2 different supercells, and that just speaks to the nature of the situation that we saw today. So right now it's 9:16. We have no active tornado warnings. Our protocol here is to break into regular television when we have active tornado warnings. In lieu of that, our game plan right now is to continue our coverage over on 5+, Facebook, YouTube, our free mobile app. We're going to continue tracking these severe storms through the area until the threat passes. Of course, 5 News at 10 starts right here at 10. This was recorded earlier. This was going to be as our vantage from our Mercy Rogers camera, Mercy Fort Smith on Rogers Avenue camera. This was it. This was the tornado. There was the power flash there at the surface that was moving through. This was the tornado that passed near Fort Smith Regional Airport, not far from the Doppler radar site. It really looked like it moved right over the Doppler radar. In fact, because of that, we weren't able to see a whole lot for a while. That's that power flash earlier. You take a little bit of closer look, you kind of slow it down. That's that tornado on the ground ripping up some power lines, moving over some power poles. One of the things that storm chasers and meteorologists look for with nighttime storms, even though this wasn't really nighttime when it happened, is when those power flashes occur. That's confirming that something's on the ground, and that's one of the things that we saw right there. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue for a lot of folks in the River Valley right now. Johnson, Logan, Scott counties, Sebastian County included in a severe thunderstorm warning, damaging straight line winds with this cell, this storm system, I should say, multiple cells embedded within that line. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain. Flooding is a real concern for us. It's a problem in Franklin, Crawford, Sebastian, LaFleur counties right now. Flood warnings up and down the map. More rain is going to continue to compound those problems that are likely already happening for many of us right there. We'll take a closer look into portions of the area. What you're going to notice is the severe thunderstorm warning is a big one. It's a behemoth. It includes a lot of folks. You notice the tornado possible tag, and you kind of probably catches your eye, and you're thinking, okay, what is that? The tornado possible tag is going to be what the Weather Service is saying to us. At times there are some pockets of rotation. It's not enough that a tornado is imminent. It's not enough to issue a tornado warning, but it's certainly something that we're watching closely. And we're watching that closely for you as well. Not finding much in the way of rotation, 60 mile per hour straight line winds. That's going to be a real possibility for a lot of folks right now in Johnson, Logan, and Scott counties. Winds are breezy in Sebastian and LaFleur, but the worst of the winds have now pushed off towards the east. It may take a minute, but they will start to slowly relax, and they will slowly start to come down with time as this continues tracking off towards the east. We'll go back into Johnson County. We'll pause here for a moment. What I want to do is just work our way up and down the leading edge of this line, just making sure that nothing's rotating. A little bit of a weak rotation right now east of Clarksville, probably close to Lamar. That's just very, very weak in of itself. It's not super concerning at the moment. We'll keep an eye on it. We work our way into Logan County, back towards Paris. There's Blue Mountain. There's Boonville. Winds are high. In fact, some of these wind speeds right now in Boonville very well could be reaching 50 to 60 miles per hour. There's 51. We'll pick out a few more. There's 43. South side of Boonville around 37. So anywhere between about 40 to 50 mile per hour winds is what the radar is estimating. Some of those very well could be reaching closer to 60 miles per hour with that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll do those. When's the next one? 9:45? Okay, thank you. Yeah, talking to folks up in the booth. I'm not talking to myself. I do have voices in my head, but it's people in my little earpiece. It's fine. We'll go back a little bit further off towards the south there. Let's work our way up and down this line. Waldron, you've got some winds coming into your part of the town there. Seeing a couple of those pixels. Right there. Those pixels right there would indicate probably close to 50 or 60 mile per hour winds. Right now, that's going to be tracking near 71, right on the north side of town there. There's 31. Okay. It's not as high as I thought it would be, but I think that's a real potential for us no matter what the radar's trying to say for us right there. Had some rotation coming out of LaFleur County over into Scott. I don't see that right now. I don't see rotation at all. I just see straight line winds. You can kind of see some of that. Probably a little bit better when we look at this other wind mode. This other wind mode probably is going to be a little bit better fine-tuned for that potential of some rotation likely coming through the area right now. In terms of hail, there have been some reports of hail, but I'll tell you, a lot of this looks to be a little bit on the smaller side. Certainly compared to what we saw earlier today, definitely smaller than the baseballs that we saw yesterday with that line of storms. Working your way up and down it right now, hail would be in western Scott County, west of Waldron. Some of that moving through portions of south and eastern LaFleur County. None of that is screaming to me large hail. We're talking some small stones, probably less than the quarter size. We'll go into a couple of these. I bet that's going to say penny. Yep, it does. It says penny. Southern LaFleur, that's probably penny there as well. Penny size hail. That's not enough to do damage. Your primary concern with these storms that we continue to track for you is just winds. And flooding, I should say. Shouldn't mitigate the flooding threat. When we look at some reports, there's probably been a few around the area. A lot of these are going to be delayed. Reason that they're delayed is because folks are working to clean up the damage. They're working to get a tarp on a roof, and they're not really worried about letting the Weather Service know that their house was hit. So this map is going to look a lot different by tomorrow. I'll be able to show you that tomorrow. When it comes to our warnings, we'll start here, watches and warnings. There are a few. A lot of this is layered, so everybody's under a flood watch. Everybody's under a tornado watch. So that just means conditions are favorable. That remains the case. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings for the southern half of Franklin, good chunk of Sebastian, LaFleur, Scott, Johnson, Logan counties. That's everybody here in orange. The maroon is actually just flood warnings, not just flood warnings, but you get the point there. Some flood warnings. Just stay away from flooded roadways. Don't try to cross flooded roadways, and I think we might be in okay shape. Oftentimes you don't know whether or not the road's washed out below you or not, and it also doesn't take a whole lot of water to lift a car, and that's why we've seen some of those stranded cars where water rescues have been ongoing, especially across portions of Sebastian County. When we look back into velocities, I keep checking this, the team's checking this, they're studying it up and down the line. Not a lot happening with regards to rotation right now. This is transitioning primarily over into a damaging wind threat. I think the winds currently are highest in Logan and Johnson County. Those winds right now, to me, especially right halfway between Paris and Boonville right now, would be probably some 60 to 70. What's that going to say for us right here? That's going to tell us 64. Get into Boonville, that's going to tell us 63. So it's damaging winds. That's enough to do some damage. 59 up towards Roseville. We get closer to Coal Hill, Hartman, right around 55 to 60 mile per hour straight line winds. Those likely also coming into the Clarksville area for us as well. Those warnings continue for that reason alone, not looking at much in the way of actual hailstones with those, at least not based off of radar. There could be some small hail mixing in with the big heavy raindrops, but primarily this is a damaging wind potential, and it is soon going to translate into a flood potential. Those flood warnings are following the line of storms because it's slowing down, it's dumping copious amounts of water. That was kind of one of the factors that led to today's severe weather potential, was the fact that there was so much moisture in the atmosphere. That's all getting squeezed out as this storm moves through. One of the things that's kind of to note here is back towards Tulsa. There's a little thunderstorm development there. We're really going to want to watch back up towards the west to see if something else doesn't try to develop. Some of our high resolution short-term models indicate that that may be a real possibility. Weather Service issuing some thoughts saying that that may be a real possibility for us as well, but we just have to wait and see. Not all the data thinks that's the case. It's about 50-50 based off of what we're seeing. So I think the atmosphere is going to be pretty worked over. If that materializes, we'll get through it. But the atmosphere with all of this and all this rain, there's not going to be a whole lot of storm fuel left. We're going to have pretty much spent a lot of it. Look at some estimated rainfall totals here for us. This is going to be Doppler radar estimates of just over the last 12 hours alone. It's thinking. It's going to pop up for us here in just a couple of minutes. There it is. Okay, so it's going to do it slowly but surely. Heaviest of rain probably fell in northern Leflore County. Northern Leflore County probably saw a lot. Western Benton County saw a decent amount as well. Radar estimates about 3 inches of rain. Right now in the Fort Smith area, 2 to 3, but perhaps as high as you get some of these oranges, 4 inches fell within the last 12 hours. And we get into Ozark where the rain continues. We're right now right around an inch. Madison County up to about 2 inches. Carroll County we get a little bit closer to 1 inch in diameter. We get closer to Bella Vista, about an inch to two in Fayetteville. It's obviously continuing to rain, so these are preliminary numbers. It's just radar estimates. Those numbers are not exact, and they're probably going to look a little bit different than your at-home rain gauges that are in your backyard that are a lot more precise, but it gives us a pretty good idea of what has fallen. Intense rain along with some damaging straight line winds is our primary focus right now. These winds will soon be exiting Johnson County over into Pope County. New severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that potential as it crosses over into Dover, London, eventually up towards Mount Pleasant, that there in Pope County. We work our way into Logan. Intense winds, 60 or so miles per hour, just about county-wide. We'll call out Paris, we'll call out Subiaco, Roseville, Shoal Creek, Morrison Bluff, Mount Magazine, Town of Magazine, but I would venture to say it's area-wide. It's not any one of those cities more than the other. You're looking at a pretty intense pocket of winds traveling just about due east through Logan County right now. Some of those winds do extend back towards Scott County as we continue working our way up and down this line. Waldron, those wind numbers have come down perhaps a little bit from where they were earlier. That thunderstorm, though, pretty strong, heavy rain, a lot of lightning back towards Mansfield and Greenwood, intense rainfall accompanying all of that as well. That's why you've got those flood warning alerts beginning to show up just about everywhere on the backside of this line. We'll look into the hail potential. Looks like there is a pocket of maybe some very small hail just to the west of Waldron, closer to the Sebastian LaFleur, Scott County line. That's saying less than a quarter. So that's likely subsevere, pretty small going into that community. Okay. Let's do this. Joshua, do you have anything you're noting over there? And I asked Danny the same. That's severe. Joshua, I don't even know if he's in the building anymore. Or where he's at. He's here. Okay, you're just hiding back over there.
Nothing to note on radar or anything like that other than the just very, very heavy rainfall that we've received. Several reports of flooding, especially in the river valley. There was a report a little bit ago in, I think that was, that's outside of our area, so some of that activity was weakened and finally is fizzled away in northwest Arkansas. Activity right now, pretty much, if you are under any sort of severe thunderstorm warning at this point, it is likely for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Not really seeing anything notable hail-wise, which is some good news, other than maybe some quarter-size hail near Octavia and Smithville. So right now, the good news is we're not really talking any sort of significant severe weather, which is, very welcomed compared to what we've seen over the last several hours in the area. So hopefully it continues to kind of fizzle out. And one thing that this heavy rainfall is creating issues now, but hopefully, we get this resulting in maybe working over that atmosphere so that if anything else develops out west, we don't see any more activity. I know pretty much all of the viewers are equally as weather fatigued at this point after what we've seen so far today. So hopefully we can kind of just tame the atmosphere a little bit.
Yeah, I would certainly hope that to be the case. We'll see. It feels like we're trending in that direction. We'll see. Good update, Joshua. Thank you so much. Portions of Sebastian and LaFleur County were included in an earlier warning. That has since been allowed to expire. Southern LaFleur remains in a severe thunderstorm warning on account for high winds up to 60 or so miles per hour. That potential is going to continue tracking over into Scott County. Scott County not entirely done with this system just yet. You've got a ways to go. Look at the rain that continues across Washington and Benton counties. That's moving into Carroll and Madison. Delaware and Adair, you've had a rough day as well. You took it on the chin initially first with those early storms that moved through the area. Those are likely going to continue developing off towards the west, that part of northeast Oklahoma. So you may have an additional thunderstorm moving up towards Delaware County, Oklahoma. When you look at wind velocities, it's pretty easy to see there is a very intense pocket of wind moving through Logan County right now. Johnson too, but it really looks to me that the highest of wind speeds along the leading edge of this boundary is going to be Logan County. This is where we have Paris right now. Those winds have come up. That's going to be traveling east right there along the state highway. I think it's going to be 22. That's going to be moving over towards Shoal Creek, Subiaco. Winds likely going to be very intense for a little bit, given the slow forward momentum of this system. 70-mile-per-hour straight line winds likely ongoing right now in the town of Paris. That is tracking off towards the east. So let's do this. Danny, if you don't mind, will you let me know how fast the cell is moving in Paris? That's going to be Logan County. Let's see. I'm going to try to. Yeah, you got it. Perfect.
Northeast at 60.
Okay, these are moving quicker. Let's see here. Let's put this from where those winds are. That's not what I wanted to do. Get it together, Scott. Squall line at 60. Okay. Yep, I'm still not doing this correctly. There we go. That'll work. Nope, that will not work. My technology's failing me tonight. Let's do this. Let's go back into it the old-fashioned way. New severe thunderstorm warning, eastern Logan County. Right in this general vicinity, right here. You can see that popping up on the map for that potential of very high winds. Weather Service says for up to 60.
They made a note that it might be trending up to 70 if things continue to increase.
That's kind of what I thought. Just radar sampling out of the Fort Smith radar would certainly indicate that to me. So I think they may be on to something with regards to that. Let's look at velocities here. Pause that. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for reminding me. You'll have to remind me again, I'm afraid. Thank you. It's a pretty intense system. Goodness, this has been a long day. I don't even know when our first warning was issued. Was it sometime in the 4 o'clock newscast, perhaps? Here we are, about almost 6 hours later. And it's not done yet. Unfortunately, severe weather continues right now in portions of Logan, Scott, and Johnson counties. That's going to continue off towards the east. I'm not seeing a whole lot of additional development back off towards the west. Let's hope that that doesn't happen. I'm really, really hopeful that we can be done with these specific cells. That's going to be a live look in Fort Smith right now, where that heavy rain continues, lots of lightning, lots of thunder continuing out there for a lot of us as well. When it comes to the winds, we can find that those are very intense, primarily in Logan County. I think 60 to 70. The warning says 60, I think 70. Based off what I'm seeing on radar alone, that pocket of winds is intense. Those yellows right there coming out of Paris, moving towards the east, almost due east, I think. That's going to be traveling right there into Subiaco. It's intense right now. Corley, Shoal Creek, probably going to be next in line for some really intense winds. Those yellows right there, 68. Right now in Subiaco, 70. See, radar is estimated at 60 and 70. Yeah, that does sometimes translate a little bit differently down to the surface, but based off of what we've seen earlier today, I think from Driggs through Gray Rock back over towards Shoal Creek, we're probably looking at a wide swath of at least 50 to 60, but more than likely up to about 70 miles per hour as well. Do a couple more of these little samples here just to get an idea of what's happening out there. When you look at some of it on radar, it's very intense, and that's our concern for a lot of folks in Logan County right now. Nothing rotating, but that doesn't mean this isn't intense. Doppler radar is certainly indicating to us that these winds could be causing just as much damage as a weak tornado. It doesn't necessarily have to be a technical tornado. It very well could be damaging straight line winds that causes just the amount of damage you expect at an EF0 or an EF1. Unfortunately, that appears to be a likelihood for some of us right now in Paris, Subiaco, broad sections of Logan County. Johnson, it continues to be very intense for you folks there. Rain and thunder for Franklin, lighter rain in Crawford, moderate to heavy in Sebastian, intense rain southern LaFleur, south of Poteau. That intense lightning is continuing there as well. There's a lot of lightning strikes with that specific cell. It's going to be tracking off towards the east-southeast. Portions of it may move over towards Rich Mountain and Polk County, also included in a severe thunderstorm warning for that. Let's check the hail while we're here. A little bit of hail back there. That'll be tracking towards Rich Mountain. Let's go and check the hail potential for a lot of folks elsewhere. Going into portions of Scott County, some small hail. This is a good spot to talk about the warnings that are currently in effect. Maroon here is going to be flood warnings. That includes a large chunk of Crawford, almost all of Franklin, almost all of Sebastian County, good chunk of northern LaFleur, and even parts of southeastern Sequoia County. Darren was telling us about some of the water rescues and the barricades and roads closed that he's been able to report on from his sources there in the River Valley. Don't try to cross any flooded roads. Does look like there might be some pea-sized hail. Probably not anything more than that coming into the Waldron community. Last thing anyone in Waldron wants is pea-sized hail right now, or any hail at all, I should say, after the spring that you've had. Unfortunately, that appears to be the case. It's going to be small, though. If there's any good news, it's probably not going to do any damage. We'll take a look here. We'll go back area-wide, just looking at winds. It still looks like Logan County is right now taking the brunt of those high damaging straight-line winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour. When we look at just the radar mode alone, we are seeing the most intense portions of the cell in the northern flank exit the 5 News viewing area. We're going to work this through Johnson, Logan, and Scott counties, southern LaFleur there, where the severe aspect is continuing. A couple of things to note to let you know about. Things are going to look a little funny here on the live stream right around 9:45. I've got to do what's called a cut-in. That's a live little programming interruption that happens right before the 10 o'clock newscast. You'll have to bear with us as we do that. And then, of course, at 10 o'clock, I think the plan is, let me check my messages from our digital team. This stream is going to end at right at 10 o'clock in place of our 10 o'clock newscast that you always see. I think for the most part, by that time, the overwhelming majority of severe weather is likely going to be off to our east at that point, which is probably around the time we would end these streams anyways. So that may coincide with each other really well. New severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Scott County. This one just now popping up on the map. Let's go ahead and take a look into that cell. This does include Waldron and Blancett and Parks. This one also extends over into portions of Yell County as well. This one is likely going to be for damaging winds as well as the potential for some small sub-severe hail. It does look like some winds have picked up to the northeast of Waldron there. That's going to be closer to the Tate community, I believe. So if you're anywhere between Waldron, let's say Tate, and Gravely, you probably want to be mindful of some intense winds, about 60 miles per hour. The higher winds remain in Logan County. Damaging straight line wind event unfolding right now in Logan County. Winds between Paris and Subiaco are the most intense, up to 60 to 70 mile per hour. That's going to be our primary concern there. Still seeing 60 right now, still seeing, let's see, 69, up to about 70 there. From Paris towards the east there in Logan County. That is going to be moving out of Logan over into portions of Yell and Pope County for those with interest there. Damaging straight line winds appearingly increasingly likely. New scan just kind of came in there and it shows just the same. When we look at it on rain mode, what you'll notice is it's very intense rainfall as well. Lightning may be continuing there to come down just a bit. Lightning in of itself not necessarily severe, albeit dangerous, and it can cause power outages in of itself, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if we're starting to see some power outages take up over the next few minutes, likely in Johnson County. I think Darren's on set here with us still. Something to look at. In fact, if we want to bring in Darren at some point just to talk about maybe some power outages, that may be a good idea since we're still on streaming here. There's probably a lot of folks that are without power that are tuned in, and so let's cater to those folks when we can. Boy, it's been a long day. I wish I could tell you it's entirely over. Let's chat. We can bring up Danny's mic and Joshua's if we can. I'll let those two kind of talk through some of the forecast aspects as to what the next several hours may have in store.
Yeah, so we were actually just talking behind the scenes about it. So it looks like there is a little bit of consistency of at least some redevelopment. The severity of that redevelopment, we're not quite sure, but that dry line still is, it's very slow. It's still west of Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So you have that gap between Oklahoma City and us where nothing's really going on. Right now it looks like it could be anywhere from a couple of isolated storms that don't really do much to maybe another line moving in that could have some hail and damaging wind. As Scott's been mentioning, and Josh can add on to this, it's one of those you kind of have to wait and see what happens. But we have seen some ensemble members of some models as well, some CAMs we call it, those short-term models you see on Future Track or Futurecast, excuse me, you see that we're seeing some redevelopment potential.
It's not the news I wanted to hear, but it is a reality. We kind of knew that going into today, that there could be multiple different aspects to this system. This is the one that's working its way through the area right now. Very well could have to watch for another round off towards the west here later this evening. Let's see if anything has developed out there just yet. And it does look like there are some scattered showers in the vicinity of OKC. And I suspect those are the ones that were probably have the potential to develop. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, and some of the models like the RFS and some of the other ensembles are kind of hinting that, southern central Oklahoma would be where this activity is forming. Nothing significant yet, but we're already starting to see some of those tops reaching into the 20 to 30,000 foot range. So I think we'll start to see maybe some additional rain development near central Oklahoma here in the next half hour or so.
Okay.
And just to add on to that real quick, time frame, it could take a few hours even to redevelop. So we've seen some members from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., not until redevelopment. So again, unfortunately, it's just going to have to be a very long, dragged out kind of wait and see game.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Okay. 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 All right, folks, here on the stream, I kind of walked you through this a few moments ago, but I'll walk you through it again while we're kind of resetting things here. Coming up in about 2 minutes, I've got that live cut in over on Channel 5. Things are going to get a little bit wonky here on the stream. May look a little funny for you. That's okay. And then coming up at 9:55, this stream's going to come to an end several hours later. And at that point, we're going to reset the whole studio here. and we'll be in preparation for our 10 o'clock newscast. You can find us, of course, on 5 Plus. On our free mobile app, and as well as traditional 5 News if by chance you still have power. That'll be a good place to find us there. One of the things I wanted to do is I'm looking off camera over here, and yeah, let's take a look at Lauren's shot right now. This was going to be in the 5 News Storm Chaser, I believe. If you happen to have her location, that would potentially be helpful for us as well. Around Towson and Phoenix is where we've got the 5 News Storm Chaser right now. This is likely going to be where we've got some flooded roadways that have been moving into the area. Earlier today with all that rain, we did see some water rescues that had to take place. Unfortunately, in Sebastian County, we just have a lot of flooding there in some low-lying areas. It's a thing that we deal with just about every single storm. Let's pull up Max 1 again. We've got some of the cameras here and just showing you everything that's happening around the area kind of in real time. And at times, it is just lit up with lightning that's just spanning the entire sky. These storms still pretty electric out there. You're probably hearing a lot of lightning and a lot of thunder, The severe weather continues. There's a couple strikes there in Ozark. Lightning in of itself, not severe, but it does give us an idea. It's a pulse check, if you will, with regards to how severe or not severe these thunderstorms may or may not be. So with that uptick in lightning, or consistent trend in lightning, we know that these storms are severe. A look at the Ozark camera, that is pointed back over towards Logan County. On a clear day, you can see Mount Magazine right there off in the distance, and that's where that most intense portion of the cell is right now. And so you kind of see, just from a visual perspective on radar, you see the lightning, and it's easy to understand why in Logan County we continue to be concerned with that potential of 60 to 70 mile per hour straight line winds, likely moving off towards the east into the Delaware community right now. It's exiting over into portions of Yell and Pope County. High winds continuing for a lot of us in Scott County right now. LaFleur County is currently seeing things improve, but the conditions there are still rather intense, especially south of Poteau, south of Worcester, south of Heavener. Very electric thunderstorm, likely producing a significant amount of lightning there. Let me do this. Lightning here in that southern flank of LaFleur County. I can give you an idea of how much lightning is in it just over the last 10 minutes alone. It's going to be 375 strikes within this red box over the last 10 minutes. That's, it's up to 406. Okay, it just continues to increase for us there. We can do the same thing in portions of Logan County. That's down to 62. So near constant lightning, but even more intense in southeastern LaFleur. That is going to be moving over into the Scott County area. Coming up about on a minute from that cut in. How long was this cut in? This is 15 seconds? Okay. Okay, sounds good. Okay, our directors and producers are in my ear kind of telling us what's going on out there coming up. They've been excellent today. You get to see me, or you have the unfortunate pleasure of seeing me, but the fact is we have an incredible staff behind the scenes that are making all the technical things work, and when I call for a camera or things like that, they're doing a great job for us. And so wanted to acknowledge their efforts here before this stream ends coming up. No, I don't need that, but I'll fill it. I'll be fine. Yeah, I can make it all work. Okay, coming up on less than about 30 seconds, probably closer to about 15 or so from that CBS cut-in. So I'm going to wait until then before I start talking. Hey, good evening, everybody. Scott here on what has been a very long, high-impact day. Severe thunderstorms continuing across the river valley right now. We're tracking these as they exit the area, more potentially on the way. Details at 10. Okay, off air, and we continue streaming here. Thank you for bearing with us on the stream for that. Let's go ahead and take a look at those winds and see if they've entirely exited Logan County just yet. I think they're probably going to be getting a little bit better for us there in Logan and Scott counties over the next couple of minutes, but boy, oh boy, it's intense, up to potentially 60 to 70 mile per hour straight line winds. I think they may still be continuing for portions of eastern Logan County, so we're improving, we're getting a little bit better out there. Some of the velocity numbers near Knoxville are still up to about 60 or so miles per hour, 60 to 70, I think is a real likelihood east of Morrison Bluff, east of Shoal Creek, near eastern Logan County, southeastern Johnson County. Right here is where those winds on the leading edge of that line remain at severe levels. In Scott County, we have severe high winds as well, 50 to 60 mile per hour. On the backside of that, continuing to see flash flooding concerns. That's the situation as it is right now. It's been almost an hour, perhaps, since we've seen any rotation. Some good news. We went for several hours with seeing rotation, so the fact that maybe at this point this is almost entirely, but maybe not completely transitioned over into a damaging straight line wind event for a lot of us. That potential will have to be watched later tonight. We kind of talked to Danny and Joshua about some of the models. I'm going to walk through this. I got about 5 more minutes to go before we end this stream. So seeing what the models are saying here. I've not obviously had a chance to look at it, but it does want to redevelop some of those. That would be moving south of I-40. Some of those may extend north of I-40 through around 2 o'clock this morning is what that would be looking like. So unfortunately, that potential for additional showers and thunderstorms continues. That's just a model. You know, it may not be perfect, but I do think it's a real possibility given the fact that there's been some consistent signals in the data for really the last couple of days that this may kind of come in waves. When it comes to the watches, this one runs until 2 a.m. And one of the things that is of interest is you'll notice the Weather Service has not trimmed anybody out of it, as they sometimes do when the main threat passes. And perhaps that is likely to account for that potential second round coming into the area later this evening. I've kind of lost track of time. Apologize for that. This one runs until 2 o'clock this morning for everybody in green. The flood watch is under that. Everybody's under a flood watch as well. When we take a look at some of our other issues here, that was going to be a ham radio operator of 60 mile per hour winds, a ham radio operator reporting 60 mile per hour winds in the vicinity of Paris and Subiaco a little bit ago. When we take a look at the reports, I kind of want to walk through a few of these. A lot of flooding reports, even in Fayetteville, Bentonville, some hail in Fort Smith. You got the wind report there in Paris that kind of just came in. When you look at the area, the region, I mean, look at all these reports spanning all the way back towards OKC. This is just today alone. So a pretty impressive, powerful storm system, multiple reports of tornadoes. You're not seeing many tornado icons right there. Those will come with time. The Weather Service, and they're short-staffed these days, they're going to get out and they're going to assess the damage for themselves. They're going to look with their eyes and they'll equate what was officially a tornado, what was not. And those tornado reports will come in as that happens. When you look at the big picture area-wide, this is going to be regional radar that we can allow us to see back towards OKC. Not seeing a lot there just yet. If that development's to happen, Joshua and Danny, as well as those models, kind of believe it would probably happen south of OKC. That would be tracking our direction with time into the overnight hours. Right now it's 9:51. We're about 4 minutes away from ending this live stream. I'm just kind of letting you know about that, so that if you want to find us over on 5 Plus or traditional television, you'll have time to make those switches for you. We got the 10 o'clock newscast. We have teams all across the area that have been out assessing damage. They're going to be able to bring you updates on kind of what we're looking at, what officials are telling us, what potential needs exist in the community this evening with regards to storm response efforts. All of that information, as well as the rest of this week's forecast, coming up for you on your 5 News at 10. Right now, the threat continues for high winds exiting Johnson County, exiting Logan, but continuing for a little bit longer for those of us in Scott County there. That's going to continue to slowly progress off towards the east. As you can see, it's right now a squall line. This is what we would call this. You want to know the technical name of it? It's called a quasi-convective linear system, QLCS. I'm a hillbilly from the river bottoms. I'm going to call it a squall line every day I live. This is what that is. That's a squall line moving through the area. That's tracking into central Arkansas. There could be embedded areas of rotation. In fact, interestingly enough, the majority of the tornadoes that we see are actually a result of QLCSs. There are those embedded weak spin-ups that develop within the squall line. the overwhelming majority, I think it's closer to 60% of the tornadoes that we've seen in the last 10 years come from squall lines like this. Lesser to extent, they come from those discrete, isolated supercells, the traditional way. Kind of saw a mix of both out there today. It was discrete for a long time, semi-discrete, and then eventually merged over into a line. And I believe we had tornadoes as a result of all three different types of storm modes. That's kind of the term we use, storm modes, whether or not they're semi-discrete supercells, are they clusters, are they squall lines. This has developed into a squall line, and that's going to be continuing likely through the area for a little bit longer. Potentially, this could be ending for us soon. Rain transitioning here. Some short-term models indicate there could be another round back off towards the west-southwest. Would it be this intense, this strong? Perhaps not, but potentially severe. That's a concern for us. What was that up from the booth? Okay, excellent, cool. All right, time is now for us to end this live stream, so we're going to do that. We're not going anywhere. We'll continue tracking these storms here on 5 News. We just got to reset the computers for that 10 o'clock newscast. It's just one of those things that we do. So if you've been with us on this stream, on YouTube, on Facebook, on 5+, we appreciate you tuning in this afternoon into this evening. We're aware that it was a really hard day, and we're aware that folks are probably hurting out there this evening from some damage, and we're going to be working to find some ways we can help you out here coming up in your 5 News at 10. For all of us here at Channel 5, we'll go ahead and end the stream.